got the game, the I Am Fish. I hadn't played it since the last week.
I love it.
Here we go.
Hit it. Being able to represent yourself as who you are helps others to speak for themselves.
Well, I'll say, as I know right now, the Star Trek and Marvel universe are connected, but there is the multiverse, so you never know.
Who's her? You know her. Don't pretend you don't.
I know her. I've known her my whole life, literally. So,
are you going to toss it off to me again?
I mean, no. I'm tossing it to Janora. Janora is going to have to introduce herself.
Ladies' Day.
Yes.
Wait.
I don't think there's a video game that simulates what it's like to have a family.
Family simulation game.
Are you kidding? I get left burned on fire. My mom leaves the stove on. That ain't a family. My house burns down half the time.
That's exactly what that's supposed to be.
See, there we go. Now we're back live.
Yes.
In the midnight hour again.
It's midnight somewhere.
Yeah. So I'm cracking open I Am Fish again.
I'm excited.
I mean, hadn't played it since I left off last time, so I'm only playing it during our times.
Thank you. I love how you picked the cutest, sweetest little games for me.
It's an adorable fish, though. Look at him.
I know.
Little tiny fishies.
So I found this mobile game. It's called Cats Are Liquid.
Cats Are Liquid? Okay.
And yeah, it's just the cats, I don't know, it's like a Mario setting, you have to like jump and do things.
Okay.
The cat can kind of like, it's like a giant, I don't know, liquid cat. Like a little liquid cat, and it moves, and then it can like squeeze into spaces and like, and so that makes me happy.
Interesting. A liquid cat. I'm gonna have to look that one up. Especially since it's one that's gotten you hooked.
I haven't played it yet, but the fact that it's on my phone is huge.
Yeah, true. I still haven't made it past this part, by the way. This is where we got stuck last time. When Mark came in and
1 minute to go and wanted to like
yeah. And
Mark, we love you, but your timing is impeccable, to say the least.
He always wants to carry on the longest conversation right when you're about to leave, too. That's the part that kills me.
1 minute before we were ending. It was cute. Mark, we love you. And I hope your family's doing well.
Yeah, I hadn't heard from him today. I know he had his production stuff that he was doing. For different groups. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. I gotta remember that's the button. Let me go down to the bottom. There we go.
I actually had Liquid Cat playing and I couldn't turn it off.
Really? Hey, look who jumped in. Morgan. What's up, man?
What's up, man?
Morgan, what?
Hey.
Hi.
How you been, man?
Man, today has been extremely busy, but it's
I
not
mean, I don't
necessarily
doubt.
a bad.
I don't doubt it. I've been seeing lumberjack going off like crazy.
Man, I I'm glad that people are getting their shipments, and we still got to. I don't know how many. I got to count and see how many more we got left to ship, but I don't think
Okay.
it's. I don't think it's a
That's so
crazy
awesome.
amount yet. Huh?
That's so awesome. Go
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. Well,
'Cause-
I'll be glad when it's over with. Only because I mean I've done shipping for years, so that's not the bother. It's just the logistics in general just aren't fun. So you know, being
Mhm.
that and
oh
since
yeah.
me and Danny we don't have a dedicated building, you know what I'm saying, for it. So you know we kind of got to go in between with stuff and try to figure that out. That's the thing. But I mean we're getting back into the swing of it, so it's all good.
I mean, y'all
That's
are about to have
awesome.
a building. I mean, y'all are going to end up with a movie because he saw there was it wasn't it the there was a I think it's the Tuskegee Airmen. Is that the one that you guys shared? That's
Yeah,
going to get a video game about it now.
the Tuskegee Air. Hey, I didn't know that. If Greg and Marcus, if Greg and Marcus have a video game coming and didn't tell me, I promise you, there's gonna be smoke in Atlanta. There's gonna be
Because I
there's
thought
gonna
it
be
was
so
either
many.
you or there was either a video game or a cartoon. There's something coming with the Tuskegee Airmen.
I would not be surprised because I mean Marcus did have a run of like he was doing. He's one of my favorite artists, if not my
Mhm.
favorite. And he did a run of Last Airbender. He reimagined Last Airbender characters, but he was doing it with like black characters with different storyline backgrounds or whatever.
Okay.
And there were a lot of people that when they saw the artwork, they were sending it to Nickelodeon. And I don't know. Marcus is definitely a hush hush until it's time person.
Gotcha.
So I don't know if you know what I mean. Like I don't know how far anything went, but if that I do know that if something happened, if something happened and there is a deal, and there is a video game or there's anything like that, and they didn't tell me, I'm driving to Atlanta soon. That's what I do know.
Well,
Because
y'all
that would be
have they pushed lumberjacks to the same places though?
not well. I think the good thing about creating organic relationships with people is that all of y'all win together. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So if me and Danny get a deal somewhere, the people that we know are awesome in the space that we believe in, that people that we work with and that have always been great for us, we're definitely gonna push them forward. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
try to put them in a position to be able to get their stuff highlighted too. That's really big for me. And I know a few people in the community that for sure, as soon as I get a deal, like I'm definitely,
Mhm.
you can't push. It depends on what type of deal it is. It depends on because for me, most importantly, I want to keep my IP.
Yeah.
But it depends on like what deal you strike. But regardless, yeah, there's people in the community that I know that if and when they get on, they'd at least mention my name. If they, what I'm saying, for believing in lumberjacks, and I know I'll do it for them too.
Gotcha.
So Greg and Marcus,
Yes.
I have no doubt at some point Greg and Marcus are gonna get, but they've been approached. They've said that they've been approached by people, but they're very good about making sure that they are in control of, what I'm saying, like their property, what I'm saying, their IP,
Yeah.
because they know what their value is and they're not willing to move off of that or like, getting swindled, because people will short sell you and then next thing you know, you're in a bad contract and now your mobility is gone. You know what
Mhm.
I mean? And you can't really do what you know you're capable of now. Yeah,
Yeah.
and Greg and Marcus are they're like big brothers to me and Danny. So I mean, like we definitely look up to them, and I'm only talking about them in the beginning because you brought up Tuskegee Air. So
Oh yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of people out there that like my boy Tyler. I know Tyler Martin. Tyler Forrest Martin. He got his show is getting a live action.
Oh, nice.
He's getting a live action for his the series The Antagonist. I just talked to him today actually, but
John,
yeah, really,
are you getting like gassed? Like, how can you be serious?
Oh yeah,
Morgan, through all of this, like you're just talking and talking like Mark Lee style, and then John rolls up in a gas mask.
It's my son's Nerf mask. He wears it so he doesn't get hit in the eye with a Nerf dart.
I need to get one of those. I would rather use that for a mask.
He's like, Dad, I gotta look cool. So I didn't know what I was walking into because I kind of just got in here. So I was like, I'm gonna enter with a mask, and then he was being serious, and I was like, I'm just not gonna say anything. But then I left the mask on, because I don't know, I felt cool for a moment.
Hey, you really made me want to go get a mask, and I don't even have one that cool. So.
That's right, bro. We should go get get masked and be mysterious.
I was like, Morgan, can you not see this?
I did not see it at all. I did not see it.
Are you playing I Am Fish?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, bull.
That was a phantom sneak in.
Can we try Liquid Cat next week? Just kidding.
Liquid Cat.
Liquid Cat
game now.
What is Liquid Cat? That sounds dangerous.
It's a mobile game I found.
Oh my gosh.
Oh boy.
What do you just like pull different parts of the cat and it's like ragdoll effects?
No, it's like I don't know, it's like if Mario, like the original Mario was liquid and but it was like a cat and not Mario.
Like I said, I am curious because Kara does not play games. And this has got you hooked. So there's something about it. I want to see what it is.
No, it's got me downloaded on my phone.
Did you spend money on it yet?
No. I'm not
Okay, I was gonna see if she
anything.
spent money on it, then she's took it to the next level.
Yeah, that's next level. Once you get some DLC or something, then
Yeah, you spend money on a mobile game, and you really hooked.
No, I will not pay money
Right.
for a game.
Well, real quick, how's everyone doing tonight? What's up, Morgan? I don't think I've met you before. I'm John.
Yeah, it was nice to meet you, man. Yeah, I'm Morgan. I was up here.
He's lumberjacks.
Yeah.
You cut trees?
And John, he's trying to be all modest. Morgan is phenomenal at what he does. His comic book is out. He and Danny, another good buddy, they put out a comic book called Lumberjacks.
Oh,
You gotta look it up.
Okay.
Jatobi, I told Morgan my slight spelling suggestion for late nights for lumberjacks.
Oh yeah.
I'm all the way about that. I'm completely in.
Not that one X, the triple X.
You don't understand the amount of when we were doing the Kickstarter, and I was doing podcasts and stuff like that. The amount of suggestions that I got for just random lewd, OnlyFans worthy things to promote the Kickstarter was insane.
I mean, the character is kind of a beefcake, so he has his
but
little muscles, little axe.
They weren't asking for the character. They were like, "Yeah, you should wear a flannel and get glitter and splash the glitter on yourself with your shirt open, and then blah blah blah." They were coming up with all kinds of crap. They were like, "Yo, I'll pay for that right now," and I said, "Yo,
what?
First of all, y'all aren't serious."
Right.
If you
Yeah,
serious,
they are.
Yeah, if you
gotta
are serious,
pay in half.
look into it.
Or you could just make a trailer, like a 15-second trailer, right before you get to the good part, you cut that shit off.
I would.
It's like those porn trailers. You're like, I'm almost there, and then it's almost like next week, and you're like, or they're like, get your credit card out. You're like, no.
I would.
No, but you could do it. Because I have a friend. Well, I don't have a friend, but I know somebody who's a beekeeper in Cincinnati, And he'll do like music videos, and he's like shirtless, his little 6-pack going, and like he'll do like he'll appeal to his audience, and it works for him. So
check out
glitter
that
and
beekeeper
flame,
over
I
on
think he
Allen
can do
Avenue.
it.
Hey man, listen. I told them I would do it if they were actually going to increase their pledges for that or pledge, I'd do it. But like they kept saying, yeah, we're gonna do it, and I'm like, yeah, well, you know, as soon as I see the money go up there, I guess
Right, you're like, I got PayPal right here, man. What's
yeah,
up,
exactly.
dog?
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I'll get on the poll as soon as
For
I
every
see that money
dollar,
hit,
you get a toe. Anything bigger, and it keeps going up, baby.
There you go. There you go.
Hey, Chichobe.
It's interesting you said toe.
That's right.
Hey,
You gotta start with the feet. I'm just kidding.
Jacoby,
That's crazy.
This is my PTR. So this is the PTR that they use that I did my performance earlier this afternoon on Clubhouse. So yes,
Is that your alter
got
ego,
to
Mark?
play Echo.
Yeah, I think
Echo,
that's Mark's
Echo.
alter ego right there.
Yeah, where's your
Right.
face?
That's like
I will reveal my face in a little bit, but
that looks like a really fucked up Alf with like a mind stone in the middle of his head. Like, bro, what up, dog? We gonna see. I don't know. It's cool though. Look dope.
Alf was
This is how we are after hours.
I guess it is.
What
It's
happened?
hilarious though.
there I go.
Bobby.
But yes, that was the
I like
role
this
that
in
I
the
got to
middle of
play
the
earlier
day.
today.
I like this tomorrow. I don't know this.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what time of the day it is.
Yeah.
Mine does get incrementally worse the later it gets. I
was about to call you out, Morgan.
Yeah, I will fully admit that the later it gets, the more dangerous I know my mind gets, and I'm like, I should probably just not, because I don't know what I'm gonna say. I say,
Yeah.
We never know.
I just say it.
that's what I'm saying. Like I've done it too many times. I'm literally in Facebook jail right now.
Yeah, but
I've been in Facebook jail for like 20 something days. I don't even know how many days I have left yet.
That's right. I got a swear jar right here. It's in my Darth Vader. It's really light because I never put anything in it.
That's the
Don't
crazy
feel
thing.
bad.
I don't even be
Because I'm an
swearing.
angel.
Yeah, you're an angel.
You're a
Jim.
liar.
Yeah, that sounds like a big
Oh
lie.
no.
I'm not buying the angel talk and everything. Not with John over there.
All I know is I
You
got
seen
might
Emperor's
buy it
New
from
Groove?
Morgan, but I'm not
The
even sure
angel
I buy
and
it
the
from him.
demon.
Man, I saw Jacoby playing this last week, and I was like, "What in God's name is this?" And then the longer I watched, I was like, "I actually kind of want to do this now." And then I was
He
like,
is a
"No."
fish.
it is
Jacoby,
addictive.
what is this game? You're rolling around a bottle with a fish. I'm trying to figure out what the whole purpose of this game is and everything. So there's like a bottle and catching things.
It's like
What's
Finding
going on?
Nemo.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like
that's
Finding Nemo. You just got to keep the fish alive.
basically that's all. You're the fish. You're like Nemo trying to escape to the ocean. That's all you're trying to do.
Okay.
And like after hours fashion, it's a blowfish.
Oh
Right.
wow, I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Oh, the bird.
I can already see this is getting ready to go really left, really fast. Okay.
That's right.
All right.
Hey, welcome to the late night Kara show.
All right.
No.
I'm all for it.
Hey, no.
I just, man,
I think you're just. Oh, okay. I thought you were stuck in the corner. I was like, where are you going, man?
It's when it's in
And then
this
the
bottle,
birds.
it's tough
Yeah.
because you gotta if you're not in the middle, then it doesn't go straight. So you gotta hit.
Bro, esports, I am fish. Come on, Jatovi.
Gotta get it.
Don't be hating on I Am Fish.
I've actually saw Soda Pop, and he's a really big Twitch streamer playing this. It was kind of funny.
I'm telling you, I had never seen it before, and I was dead.
It's on
almost
Game
dead
Pass.
asleep. I was almost dead asleep last week, but I saw Jacoby playing it because I was watching him and Kara and for a little bit before I fell asleep. And I was like, I don't know what Jacoby's doing, but I actually kind of want to do this now.
I Am Fish.
I'm telling you, it's just such a ridiculous game, but
It is a ridiculous game, but
So
a fun game. It looks
freaking
like I'm
addictive.
really enjoying it just watching you.
But
Yeah, but it's
you were at one point you were going down these narrow paths. Oh, see, and it is infuriating because you're like,
Wrong
That's a
turn.
wrap. That
like
just
I'm
gave
so
me
close,
flashbacks.
and I'm gonna die.
Hey,
It just gave
did
me
you tell me how many
flashbacks to
times have
Walking
you died
Dead.
on this game? Because the last time we played games, you were dying left and right.
I've died a lot on this game.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't
That
no
just
shame
gave
in
me
my game.
flashbacks.
This game is tough. It looks
But it
starts
also
off
shows
easy.
how stubborn he is, which I like.
He is very stubborn in a good way, as a friend of mine likes to call it. Stubborn in a good way.
All right, now why is this fish able to push a whole trash can with water in it?
Jeez.
Because
Right?
ate
He has that
gluten.
much cheese in his tail.
Because
He's
he's
like,
a Hercules fish. It's
They're grown
Hercules fish.
people. Huh?
No, he ate gluten.
You gotta jump
he
it.
eats
You
bread.
gotta jump over, Jacoby.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I got it.
He
You gotta
eats
get some
bread,
momentum.
and then he has superpowers. So he's
That
like the
makes-
antithesis of me.
That makes all the sense in the
No.
world.
Carrot's
gotta go-
got all kinds
you gotta
of
go
superpowers.
before.
He's got many superpowers.
Just not on gluten.
That is true.
I just find that intriguing because I know whole.
Let's go! Totally, we
This is
should
the
play
tough
some
part.
Rocket
This is where you got to
League.
go down this daggone hill.
I'm intrigued that I'm this enthralled in this. I don't even understand.
It's the dumb
And
things
it's kind
that
of
make
like
you
a
the
little city
happiest.
living too, because then he's just like cruising around in a trash can. So I'm like,
It's
like, what are my neighbors?
There's so much random
Drunk.
stuff.
You're stuck now, bro.
No, I can get out of this. I think I can.
No, I
Yeah.
think you went
You
too
can.
far.
I think I can. I think I can.
That's it. I think
This
I can.
fish is able to push it by swimming.
Yeah, that's
This
what
is
I was.
insane.
Swimming.
Dude, you know how
telling you.
swole that fish is?
That's
Never
power.
skips
There
fin day.
is no physics involved in this at all.
It never skips fin day.
Hey, the fish is going to go down the steps. I'm already
That fin,
impressed.
bro.
Look at there.
That is beast.
Oh no, I fell off.
No.
Totally, we should play Rocket League.
You got to get in that thing.
Do it. Do
Gotta
it.
get in the
Do it.
drain.
I can't get in the drain. It's
We
too
should
high.
play Rocket League.
No.
No.
You can't get in
Man,
the
he's
drain.
super
This is
dead.
the tough part.
You keep giving me
Died
flashbacks to Walking
again.
Dead, man. That's literally every time you fall up under that trash can, it makes me think about that scene with Glenn. Like every time. I don't know if you guys watch Walking Dead, so I don't know if you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
How many times have you watched it, Morgan?
Walking Dead?
Yeah.
I mean, I was more hooked. I'm trying to think of what seasons hooked me the most. I mean, the governor and then Negan.
I never made it past the governor season.
Oh man,
It's just too.
Man, you have to watch Negan, bro. Like he is.
Oh, I heard that shit was good, but like, I mean,
Man.
I guess I could probably just skip straight to there and probably still know what's going on.
Jeffrey
It
Dean
was just,
Morgan.
it was just, in my opinion, it was just too much drama for a zombie apocalypse. Like, I mean, come on,
The whole
dude.
zombie apocalypse is going to have
I'm
drama.
too real. Like, I get too realistic with it. It's like this show I watched called The 100. And like these people have been in space for like 40 years because, Earth, American, whatever, Earth is stupid and they poisoned it. So we had to go in space. So we start going back down. It's called the 100 because they send the first 100 down. And these people get down there. They go through survival. Like there's bugs and all sorts of things happening to them. And their makeup and hair is flawless.
Yeah.
I mean, like, boom, dude. Like, they're ready for the camera. And I'm like, are you fucking... Their teeth is perfectly clean. They've been in space for 40 years, and they got pearly whites, bro. Like,
That's the one
I'm like,
it.
it drives me crazy. I can't get... for me, it ruins the immersion.
Yeah.
Some things.
Walking Dead just turned me off. And that
That's
governor
why-
one with Amy, that blonde chick, oh
Yeah.
my God. She could have died on day 2, and I would have been like...
Yeah. But like in the comic, she was supposed to live longer and be Rick's girlfriend. Right?
Oh, wow.
See,
I don't
that's
know.
In the comics,
That's the
it was supposed to be that way.
that's the thing that interests me with because like when I first started watching Walking Dead, I had no idea that it was a graphic novel first.
Mhm.
I'm learning that about a whole bunch of stuff. So like
A
So
lot of
when
good
Lumberjacks
things
gets
are-
its own show, you can
Yeah.
be like, it was a comics first. It was a comic
you
first.
daggone right.
He's gonna do a
I have
voice in
every
it.
intention on doing that.
No doubt
Yeah.
about it.
But okay, so a life thing, okay. nuggets of knowledge. I'm just jumping in real quick. So, like, of course, when you watch TV and you're enthralled in something dramatic like Walking Dead, your mind actually is going through like the same stress. You know, like your body is just like, fuck, what's going on, right? But video games have actually been proven to, I mean, yeah, you get stressed out with them, but it's a different kind of stress because you're trying to make it better. You're trying to like get things perfect. You're trying to like make it through different levels, but your body.
Talk about stress.
Yeah, okay, but your body doesn't like, it doesn't feel like it's going through the same thing as if you're watching it, because you actually have control. Like, even though you may not have, like, Toby doesn't have total control, but you can perfect it or get better, which shows you have no control. You're at the mercy of these writers. So that's why, like, some people just don't escape stress. If, you know, when you're watching TV and you choose certain shows, like, you're just in chronic stress.
I probably do way too much of that to myself then, because I'm definitely the type of person that when I'm watching something, I put myself in it. But a lot of times that's because I'm the type of person that like I like we literally, like on our show last night, we did the top 5 horror movies of all time.
Okay.
And I mean, it's one thing to experience a movie, but when you put yourself in a situation, like I'm like what John was just talking about. Like, there are some situations, some shows that definitely irk me, and I'm like, bro, this would never happen in a million years. I don't even want to watch this anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But I think,
Oh, I was gonna let you finish, but I'm also curious about which were your top 5.
Yeah, that's what I was curious about as well.
Well, okay, so I gotta,
because you know we about to throw down here.
Well, so, okay, all right, so that's the thing that we had to do last night, because we did top 5 the top 5 horror movies of all time.
Oh, sweet! I'd love to be a part of this.
But I duly noted, because I think next week we're gonna do. Because it's October, I think I want to stay in somewhat of that theme, because like that's what I was getting ready to explain. So we did the top 5 horror movies last night. My list, I was shooting for more paranormal type stuff versus like, because I mean, all the
I don't consider slashers horror.
Exactly.
Like, sorry, they just don't scare me. A bunch of blood, stab. Cool, man.
But it's still qualified as horror.
I know.
Alien is still qualified as horror.
That's
but
action.
I can't put that on this list.
That's an action movie. That's
exactly. To me, that's sci-fi. That's like it's a sci-fi.
Sci-fi action. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
But Morgan, would Jaws be considered a horror movie? Because I consider that a horror movie.
Jaws would considered a suspense and drama and horror.
Exactly.
I think so.
I think Jaws genre-wise, like if we looked it up on Vudu or Rotten Tomatoes or something, they're going to define it as, it probably is horror and suspense. Probably.
For sure. The suspense for sure because of that old dang tune.
Yeah,
that tune will get you every time. But then I'm thinking like some movies that were very scary, and sometimes they might be outdated because they might be also campy.
I got a good question.
I'm thinking like Carrie. I'm thinking like
that's horror.
Omen.
That's horror.
That's
what would Silence of the Lambs be considered?
Silence of the Lambs.
I think Silence of the Lambs is probably like.
I
know. I think.
I want to see.
I need to come out with that actually.
Silence of the Lambs.
Or Psycho.
And I should say it as a hamstring, like when I'm working out. I'm gonna TikTok that.
Instead of Clarice, the main character Charlotte.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna TikTok that at some point. So I think Silence of the Lambs would be qualified as like a psychological thriller.
I would be it'd be a drama thriller. Like you know, like somewhere like there. Like a thrama. It'd be called a thrama.
I think most of the time people qualify dramas as like I think there's usually some type of romantic interest in it, or something that's spurning from romance in some type of way. Like, and to me, those can be horrors too. Because I swear, um, there's a series on HBO right now called "Scenes from Marriage." That is impeccable. Like, I love it.
Oh
It's
yeah,
not.
it talks about the struggles in marriage, like the real
Oh,
struggles.
it is so good though, bro. Like, it is like you could have the best conversations ever watching that show. Um, but like for last night, that's one of the things that made it hard because you have so many different subgenres under horror. So my list, I was shooting for movies that were I had a lot, but I said I'm gonna shoot for movies that one I have seen. All of us try to make sure that we put movies on the list that we have actually seen. One and two, I put the movies on my list that I've seen, and then movies that like I think are overall good movies, which for horror films is not always the same. You know what I mean? Like there are a lot of horror films that are good as horror films, but as a film itself is horrible. Like the acting's really, really bad, or the plot is terrible, but it's still scary.
What are you
Like Drag
talking
Me to
about? The Chud movies were classic.
Hell, man. A Sharknado. You know what I'm saying?
That's my movie.
Somebody qualifies Sharknado as a horror movie. I guarantee.
Oh yeah, or Tremors.
Well, you know that.
Yeah, Tremors.
Comedy.
Sharknado is when a man gets under the bridge, and all you hear him say is "ow." Don't do that.
What about like
Ow.
Eight-Legged Freaks? I guess it had a horror
Yeah,
comedy.
yeah, that's a horror film. But what about
The
like
Descent was pretty.
Now that's a
crazy.
horror film.
That's straight up horror.
And-
That
right
shit.
there.
The
Yeah.
first one, not the other ones.
Yeah.
I watched the other
Like,
ones.
I'm
The
not
first one, so good.
Well,
Yeah.
It's fucking
Very
close
funny.
paces.
There's Event Horizon. That's a horror film.
That's horror too. Yeah.
Yeah, but then you got like those campy
The
ones,
Fourth Kind.
like Rocky Horror.
That's a good one.
The Fourth Kind, yeah.
The
see,
Fourth Kind
that's
is
what
one
I'm
of my
saying.
favorites.
Those are some that I think in the coming weeks, because we do it every Tuesday. So like in the coming weeks, probably do all right. We're doing like suspense horror, sci-fi horror.
Oh, fuck
You know
yeah,
what I'm
dude.
saying?
I've watched a lot of that, man. My
Yeah.
wife, she loves horror just as much as I do.
Yeah,
So,
and
we watched the
that's
most recently one, Malignant. It was okay.
Malignant was.
It was
I
okay.
don't.
The
I
ending
watched
was
Malignant.
stupid.
I watched it, and at the end, I was like, I don't know how I feel about this.
Dude,
You know,
It was all good up until the end, bro. And then all of a sudden, that whole shit. Like once I figured out that was running backwards, and I was fucking.
I was like, yo, exactly. I didn't know what to do with it. I did not know what to do with that. But because it's similar to.
It reminded me of the anime Parasite. If you've ever seen that
What is it?
anime called Parasite,
Parasite's actually really.
I've
good.
heard of it, but I never watched it.
Yeah,
like
Parasite's
I
really
think
good.
another being basically and hosting the same body and can transform it as well.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. It was just ridiculous.
Yeah, that's just.
So Morgan, I have a bone to pick with you on one of your top fives.
Oh God.
So on one of your top fives a few weeks ago, you had top 5 male 90s R&B voices, and you didn't include
Oh yeah,
my
we brought that
future
up.
ex-husband D'Angelo. I'm very upset.
How could you not involve D'Angelo?
What? You didn't have
Listen,
D'Angelo?
man.
It's also Jatobi's future ex-husband.
So, all right. So, like that list was that list was not easy to do. It's very hard. Two,
Wait a second. What were your top 5? Because I didn't. What were the top 5? So everybody knows.
For which one? For which one?
Well, you had
R&B?
Luther, and then Usher, and then JT, Neo. Really? Neo.
You had Neo on a list, but didn't have D'Angelo.
No. So
Didn't have
I always make a
Jaheim?
flyer. I always make a flyer for the show, like with involved, somebody that matches whatever we're doing. So on that poster, I had like Neo, Usher, because you don't want to put exactly who you're like. We don't tell each other who our top fives are, so that when we get on the show, it's fresh and we can really argue then because it's like,
okay.
Yeah,
so
like
did anyone say D'Angelo?
I don't think so. No.
What?
But you got Neo on the poster.
But that's what I'm saying.
I thought we were friends.
So the poster is almost a decoy though, because I don't want to give you some of my top five. If I'm making a poster, some of my top five is going to be in the poster because I'm usually using InShot or Photoshop on my phone to do it, and I'll do it as a collage, so it fits like 9 pictures in there. So some of them I need to be putting people up there that are relevant but aren't on my list, so that people don't know what my list is. Because that's part of the goal is that we don't want to know each other's list until the show is going on, and then we can argue about it. So D'Angelo, that list was for vocal talent. So, and that's one thing, like I was talking to him about, I don't know that we're ever going to be able to do that list and it not get turned into thought process wise, like greatest. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a difference in between greatest and talent. Like talent, I don't care if I've heard this person sing 10 songs. If those 10 songs are like some of the most amazing vocal talent I've ever heard, they don't need a 30-year career for that. They just, you know what I'm saying, that you can qualify the talent within that 10 years or 10 songs, whatever it is.
Now that.
Wait, you didn't answer the question. Why not D'Angelo?
Well, so the people that I had on my list, I don't think D'Angelo can. I'm not. So that's another thing that we always have to say. It doesn't mean that other people cannot throw down singing. But you have to, it comes down to splitting hairs. That's why we do 5. Because if we did 10, it'd be a lot easier to get other things in there. The conversation's not as uncomfortable. Doing 5 is very uncomfortable.
So who were the 5?
Morgan, you did say the 90s, right?
Yeah, I said from the 90s till for that one, I think we did 90s till now.
There was a very popular singer in the 90s. I want to know if he was in there, and actually he had a lot of hits back in the early 90s, but then he became somewhat obsolete. So was Al B. Sure on the list?
I think he might have been
Ja Rule.
He might have been on my
list.
He might have been what?
Absolutely not. Ja Rule was not.
Let
Ja Rule was not
me see that underwear.
So the person that would have somebody like that on their list is Danny. Like Danny surprises us every week.
No, every week. Right. Dang, I messed that all up.
Every week, Danny would surprise us with somebody out of left field every week. Like,
I mean,
we asked for the top. We asked Jodeci.
So who was your top 5?
Jodeci had talent on the voice.
My top 5 that week. I'm trying to make sure I did it right. I got it for the right week. But yeah, so my top 5 that week were Jamie Foxx, John Legend, Brian McKnight, Maxwell, and Luther Vandross.
Okay, Maxwell, Luther, I get it.
But
what about name? Because if you take, I saw this article way back when, I don't remember, but I have like sometimes a photographic something until it doesn't work, but I do have a little bit. And I saw an article where they actually took the octave like vocal range of people, and Prince actually had a higher vocal range than Mariah Carey.
That's insane, first off. But yeah. If somebody had to put Prince on their list, so to me, there's multiple things that you have to look at when you're talking about vocal talent, and that's why I said that conversation is hard because.
And then you got Take 6,
huh?
Take 6.
Well, that's a group though, so it had
everybody in that group though.
Huh?
You had everybody in that group. You had a whole 6 people that could have been top 5.
But I don't think any of it. So. For me personally, when I was thinking about my list, I'm thinking about people that have range, one.
Got it.
either you have range or you have such a unique voice. Because like Luther is not known for range as much as he is having a voice that smacks you in the throat when you hear it. You know what I'm saying? Like every time you hear Luther Vandross, you know it's Luther Vandross. Every time you hear Whitney Houston, you know that's Whitney Houston. Like there's certain people that have a voice that as soon as you
But D'Angelo, okay, when he first came out, it was kind of hitting somewhere else. But the ladies,
like if you guys had D'Angelo on your list, I wouldn't have immediately said F that. No, you know what I'm saying? Like there are people that Danny says sometimes. Usually it's Danny that I'm like, I will kill you if you ever say anything that dumb.
I'm curious what Danny said now though.
Danny said, I have to go. So we post a poll on the Facebook. I can go on in our group page and find it.
Yeah, make sure. Yeah, I'll try and share it out because I'm sure everybody.
I feel like he's the John of the group. Oh yeah, Ja Rule. The underwear song.
If Ja Rule should not make any list that we do. I'm sorry. Unless
the songbird of this generation.
If it's the greatest scandal of all time, the Fire Festival definitely qualifies as one of the greatest scandals I've ever seen. I literally watched the Fire Festival for a second time on Netflix, and I still could not believe it. And I've seen it before, and I was like,
"That's the one that he had everybody go and nobody showed up, right?"
Yes, like
because that. I mean, the only other one that could come close to that would be Kanye when he had people come to his church thing, and he gave them. Was a slice of bacon.
He had everybody. This is true story. He had every rapper that was on his album, Donda, had to go to Bible study the whole time they were recording the album.
That dude.
Wait, why are y'all picking on President 2024? Since he says he's going to run for that night.
Oh my gosh, get out of here!
Oh, no,
he's already said
First
Lady Kim K.
Wish that terrible mess on us.
Yeah.
Nobody wants Kanye West as their president.
No, if that happened, oh my gosh.
It would be the worst. Number one, that could never happen.
We'd be fucked.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely correct. That could never happen.
Everybody would have to wear them daggone aluminum silver suits.
Dude, not only that, man. Like, oh my gosh.
I'm not putting
now
anything.
A Kardashian is in the White House.
I'm not putting anything past the White House after we had that last person in there.
What is that, Mark? I don't Facebook anymore.
This is a perfect segue because we jumped way away from something that we still didn't hear the top 5 horror movies. I'm still curious.
Oh, I got you.
Right?
What about DeAndre? Y'all brought up R&B, so I had to go to that.
Well, because you like to draw it out and then never answer. So then I figured I'd make you answer something.
I was trying to be thorough. All right, so my top 5 for horror movies was Dr. Sleep, number 5. Because I didn't put The Shining there only because I think I've seen The Shining all the way through, but I'm not 100% sure. But Dr. Sleep is an immediate backup to The Shining, and I don't care when I watch
Dr. Sleep is so good.
Yeah, when I watch The Shining, it can't possibly be better than Dr. Sleep. There's no way.
It's so good.
Yeah, so Dr. Sleep was number 5. I put it at number 4, the new one, the new version. I'll explain that in a second. The Conjuring at number 3, Hereditary at number 2, and The Exorcist is number 1.
No Cujo?
No Omen?
You didn't put Cujo in there?
Oh, Cujo can't. So The Exorcist for me has to be number 1 because it changed all horror movies. Like it's not like there's no compare. Like my mom told me, she was living in New York at the time, and you can Google this. Literally, when people went to see The Exorcist, they literally had ambulances waiting outside. That's insane. Yes. You can Google it, like especially for the. So there was a theatrical version
at
of
the time. That shit was scaring the hell out of people.
It scared people. I've never even heard of anything that crazy like that. You have the only other time I remember ambulances being outside of an event ahead of time is Michael Jackson. You know what I'm saying? Michael Jackson could stand on stage and say nothing for 20 minutes, and people are and they falling out and crap. Yep. That's the only other time that I remember anything like
Elvis,
that.
I think.
Yeah. Elvis probably
Maybe.
did have that effect too.
Some of the probably the Beatles concert. I bet that
the
shit probably
Beatles.
happened.
Yeah, the Beatles.
People overcame with just, the awe of their presence.
Yeah.
Pee on me.
But as far as a horror movie, I've never heard anything that crazy in my life. And it just set such a high precedent. And it's still one of the highest grossing horror movie films of all time. And it came out in like 73. It came out in the 70s. So for it to be that high grossing is insane. Hereditary, I put at number 2 because number 1, that's my favorite horror movie currently.
Okay.
Is that good? I've seen it on the thing and I haven't watched it.
It is so insanely. So Hereditary is good.
Quick rundown. Don't spoil anything.
No. I'm not going to tell you the plot. I'll just say Hereditary has the best acting of any horror movie.
Who's in it?
You know the chick that plays. Have you seen Knives Out?
Nods Out.
Yeah, Knives Out. That movie. It was like a thriller with Chris Evans.
Oh
shit!
You talking about the one? What's
Knives
my
Out?
guy who did
Brad Pitt's in it.
No.
I'm sorry. Daniel Craig, who plays James.
Daniel
Bond.
Craig. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So
It's,
the woman that played, I think she was the sister in it. I think she was the sister in there. Let me find her name real quick. But she was absolutely.
You talking about Kat Dennings?
Probably.
Or the other
Hold
one?
on.
I think it's the other
Tony
lady.
Collette.
Anna Damaris.
Tony
Yeah.
Collette.
While they're looking
Yeah,
those
I think it's Tony Collette. Hold on. Let me.
Yeah, Tony Collette.
Yep, that's who it is. Yeah.
Hey, Morgan.
Yeah.
Just really quickly, what about, because I was looking at those grossing movies, and one of them that used to scare the heck out of me, and I know it scared a lot of other people, but I didn't see it on your list. What did you think of The Sixth Sense?
No, The Sixth Sense is awesome, but so that's what I was going to explain. So I tried to separate.
Terror.
That's what I'm saying. I tried to. It's very hard to do the list of just 5 because there's so many subgenres of horror. So for me, The Sixth Sense, The Others, The Sixth Sense, The Others. I'm trying to think of other movies that are like that.
The Fourth Kind.
Yeah, The Fourth Kind.
Terror.
Yeah.
That's like a separate genre, like Alien. Alien would have been on this list for sure if I didn't see it as sci-fi, because Alien is one of the best movies ever.
You didn't put The Ring down there?
Dude, I'll be honest with you. I really enjoyed the first the Paranormal Activities. I enjoyed those as well.
Paranormal Activity was on my list. The only I took Paranormal Activity off for it.
When that first came out, so many people thought that shit was fucking real. It was insane.
Yeah, that's the reason. That's the reason it was on my list. It was on
my
list because they advertised the heck out of that to say it was the true story. And I didn't even mind the false advertisement.
And about the chick who went crazy and shit. Remember that story about it and everything?
I was pissed when I found out after the movie because me and my ex-wife, like when we got in the car, we were like, "Yo, that really happened. That was crazy." And then we Googled it, and
yeah, me too, dude. As soon as I was done to see it, I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is shit fucking real." I was like, "It's not." I was like, "Thank God, I could sleep that night, man."
I was so mad, man. But that was on my list. I took it off for. So that's what I'm saying. The list. So the movies that were close for me, Paranormal Activity was actually on my list until like maybe 2 hours before. Sinister.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Insidious.
Yep.
Yeah.
Insidious still to this day had one of the best scares I've ever experienced. When they're sitting in the fucking room in the fucking day in the middle of the day. The room's white, and they turn the camera, and that red face, because you're like, there's no way they would put a scare in this moment. I still, to this day, remember the terror that came over me in the theater. I literally stood up and cursed. When I get scared, I get like angry at it. So like, when I'm in the theater and this
Grandpa?
jump scare comes up, I'm like, "Fuck you!" Like in the middle of the theater, right? You know, because I'm scared.
You're like my mom's dad, who we were on vacation somewhere, and my grandpa and my brother decided to go to a haunted house, and my brother was older, so whatever, I was behind. But afterwards, we heard that in the haunted house, my grandpa was like, someone like came out, was like, "Ooh," and like scared my grandpa, and my grandpa like punched the guy.
That's what I'm talking about, Grandpa.
You can't get mad at somebody for that, dude. I had a buddy that got hit with a Magmite.
Yeah,
that's the only acceptable answer to being actually frightened.
To be frightened is just to punch him out. I agree with you. That's the best answer. But I will tell you, I've got a friend of mine out of California that you can't even say horror movie without them like not wanting to even stop the conversation. That's how terrified they are of horror movies. They will not even bring up the conversation. You say horror movies, they are going the opposite direction.
I have a lot of friends. I have a lot of friends like that. But I mean, for me, so I was gonna say for John, my favorite moment in Insidious is the sneakiest scare. I'm trying to think if there's a more sneaky.
Like that's
scare.
one of my top scares. Is that right there, man?
I'm trying to think if there's a more sneaky scare than this one. But so do you remember the scene where the mom is in the house by herself? She had just put like the record player on and there's a song playing, and she was like in the back of the house and she's walking back up to the front of the house.
It's that one song. It's the through the window.
Yes. But do you remember when she was walking to the front of the house? She was walking from the back of the house to the front. When she walked through, there was like a middle room. The little boy was standing with his face in the corner. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's my favorite moment. I can't think of any scare that was that smooth in my life. And it was, and at first, when I first saw it, I was like, that can't be what I thought it was. But then later on, when she goes walking through the house looking for the little kid and he's dancing in front of the record player,
yeah,
he's wearing the exact same clothes. And I said, yo, that blew my mind. I was like, one day I'm gonna be that smooth, because that was awesome.
Right. Hey Morgan, what do you think?
That's terrifying.
Yeah, I know, it was awesome.
Can we look, the fish?
Right.
Happy things, man.
The other day I saw butterflies and
right
the unicorns were flying.
I can't do this. Oh my gosh. I'm like sitting over here.
As soon as we're done here, just watch Aladdin or something. And
Jacoby asked. I would just answer Jacoby's question. And you said I didn't answer
don't be being like, oh well, I'm just answering a question.
I am
just saying we can talk about horror films, but oh my gosh, kids, and like, oh my gosh.
It was a great moment. Like it's still, I can't think of a moment that was better set up than that one. But John, you have to watch Hereditary. Like, I'm not gonna spoil
yeah,
dude.
I've seen it. I keep passing over it because it's not like that, I guess you could say, but like the front picture of it with the old woman's face and it's just like this, didn't capture me. So I was I just overskip it. But now since have you
watched the trailer?
No.
Okay. If all right, so I'm not going to spoil the plot at all. What I'm going to say is that
it's supernatural stuff.
It's all
right, then I'm going to like it because I like things that I think are real.
It's the most.
Like I think demons and spirits and all that shit exist. So shit like that makes me more scared.
It has a mix of both.
Yeah, I believe there's a spiritual world. Absolutely.
Yep. Poltergeist and Amityville Horror.
Rosemary's Baby.
Oh my God! If somebody had to put Rosemary's Baby on their list last night, I would have. You better have had a great reason, because I went back.
Hey, there's other good horror movies that aren't even horror movies, like Cabin in the Woods.
Well,
that's one of my favorites.
A lot of people do like Cabin in the Woods.
You're talking about the one where they went to the woods and they couldn't get out because
you thought it was a horror movie. By the end of it, they were just sacrificing people to God for entertainment. Comedy. That movie, I know, but it's actually categorized as a horror.
I don't.
But it's such a good movie.
Horror.
It's just funny. No,
it's so good.
The one,
but that was the cool thing about the show last night. There was such a divergence of. Because like Danny did his list based on stuff that when he was a kid, these movies are the reason he doesn't watch horror movies now. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
So like he
one that nobody even said. Why not Candyman?
Yep, Candyman's a
The
classic.
new one
Okay.
is awesome.
The
I haven't
only
seen the new
reason
one. I want to see the new one, but I've never
Oh,
said
man.
that in the
You
mirror,
have to
and I will
watch the
never
new
say
one.
that in the mirror.
if you saw the first Candyman, you have to watch the new one because the new one is like spectacular.
It looks great.
So did you say the new It is better than the old It? Because the old It scared the heck out of me.
Dude, the new It's are good.
The new It for me is pretty
I like
freaking
them.
good. Yeah,
Yeah.
both of them are really
That
good.
Skarsgård guy, man, who played?
Yes,
Man,
but that's the reason I put it on my list because one, it was insanely successful at the box office.
Yeah.
Two, the movie itself, the acting in it, the script. That's why I started like really pulling hairs to put the movies on my list that I did, and I was looking at it from was I actually scared? Was the acting good in the movie? What was the plot? Was the plot actually good, or what stuff like that? That's the reason that Hereditary is my favorite now because acting wise, that's the best horror movie that I've ever seen. As far as like the level of acting in a horror movie, I've never seen a horror movie with that good of acting.
I like it.
Morgan, I'm here at the one of the places I do stuff for is the Carolina Theater, and they actually have a horror film festival, the Nevermore Festival, and they actually have a lot of categories that you talked about, like they include horror, science fiction, and mystery suspense. But they also, one of the categories that I don't know that people think about, and I'd love to hear your thoughts about this, is there are entire horror films that exist within animation. So I was wondering if you had any thoughts about them and what maybe some of your favorites are in that category, because that's a whole category they got is horror, sci-fi, and animated, but it's in that animation field.
Wow, I'm trying to think of a horror movie that. Do you have an example? My brain is blank on that. Animated horror.
They do a whole category, and I think some of it is stuff that's coming out of other parts of the world, like Japan.
You mean like anime
like
that's horror, or like?
I mean, there's a whole genre of that. I mean, you have the whole anime. You've got psychological thrillers that are anime. One of my favorite psychological thrillers that you could watch is called Paranoia Agent. That is one of my hands down favorite anime that really is a psychological thriller. It has the feel I mean, it's kind of noir-esque, but it has the feel of trying to think of one. Not really the Blair Witch. But basically the whole premise of the movie is there is this kid going around killing people with a baseball bat. And you hear the sound of the baseball bat throughout the whole show. And it is freaky. It is really cool because it's a true psychological thriller. The animation is done really well. The story is just phenomenally written. That show is great.
Like crazy. Okay, so you guys have mentioned horror movies and kids twice, and both times my heart is literally about to like stop. I don't know what it is. I'm like, oh my gosh, kids and horror, and I'm freaking the hell out.
Look, I don't know that. I think that's one of the things that really put The Shining over the top. Those twins, the kid on the, when he was riding the bike.
Yeah, you're gonna talk about it more.
Right now, he's gonna explain why. Well, this is why.
Yeah, never mind. Look,
no, I'm just saying it as an observation. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's like a really interesting observation for me.
Look, Jacoby, based like what you said earlier about Cujo. That's the other thing that I always have to say. The movies that are not on our list is not that there aren't other really good movies. It's just you only have 5 spots. Like that's the hard part. You only have 5.
Fun part. That's
exactly, but it's also really hard. Like I'm telling you, there are some weeks that suck. Like because like it really, like yesterday's was hard for me because I'm a huge horror movie fan, so I had a lot that were like close to that. Because like I think Blair Witch is not a good movie overall.
Yeah,
but
I didn't like
it changed the genre though.
Just in case anybody's interested, I put in the chat. No, Kara, you don't have to go click on it, but that's actually several of the films that were in the Nevermore and animation field. So if y'all ever want to go look at them, there they are right there.
I mean, there's.
I will. I just didn't know what the groups was because, like, oh, what's the groups? The Facebook groups. That on Facebook. Nice. Nevermore horror. Ooh.
Yeah.
Well,
I just Facebook group, I put that up there for y'all to. I put the Facebook group, Dang, I don't know where that came from. I put the Facebook group in the private chat so that you guys can see the group, because that's where all the polls are, like, and what we did that week, and then I can put the YouTube link in there so y'all can watch the past shows if you want.
I did better than that, Morgan. I just joined the group, so I've joined your group and everything.
That's what I'm talking about. I appreciate that, man.
So I can check it out and maybe take part in the polls. But I saw that and I went ahead and joined because it looked like y'all have a lot of fun there. So, like I said, I joined. So hopefully other people might follow my lead and join as well. But yeah, I went ahead and joined your group right there.
Hey, I put, because Kara asked about it.
I joined because I'm a fucking legend.
Well, I really joined because I want to help Kara get D'Angelo, and I'm going to help my brother get I'll Be Sure some recognition. So that's the only reason that I really joined.
I'm trying to remember if we brought up I'll Be Sure, man. Like my boy Javon would have been the one to bring up I'll Be Sure. I think we discussed that. I know we discussed D'Angelo, but I think it's because Kara brought him up.
I did. I was hating on you then. I was like, why is he not on the poster?
Yeah, I think Kara brought him up that night, and I was like, my bad. I'm not. That was one of our times where we were like, look, we're not saying these other people, and I always have to like remind people of that. Like, look, like if we're doing top vocalists, if we're doing top like the greatest players or the whatever we're doing that week, it doesn't mean these other players are not phenomenal. It's just you only have 5 spots, and like you have to pick those 5 and then defend why you pick those 5. So
that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and I mean you have to argue. I mean you're arguing with we're arguing with each other, but then we have people that are commenting at the same time, and then you end up arguing with some of them too. You know what I'm saying? So it's usually. I mean, and the show is open. Like if somebody's arguing enough, I can bring them on the show live too. I can send them the link.
Hey, did you just win?
I had to bring in Chris, my resident horror specialist. This man
What's up, Chris?
What's
up?
What's up, man?
I remember you. Hi.
Chris, you got a movie that you're actually working on now, right?
Yeah, I did. I recently shot a segment for a travel horror anthology movie called Worst Laid Plans that'll be released sometime next year. So
that sounds fire.
All right, so Morgan was saying his top 5 horror movies, and we were scaring Kara for a little while.
Just don't bring up kids and horror movies. That seems to be the trigger tonight.
But Morgan had given his list, and John had said some great ones too. They really haven't brought up Macujo.
Oh my god,
Macujo's my thing.
Well, that's a comedy.
You just wanted the dog.
You brought up Cabin in the Woods. That was a comedy.
Dude, that is a brilliant. You didn't think
you're gonna be bringing up cat people.
Comedies could be horror films.
So, what's your top 5, Chris? What you got for a top 5?
Why are you asking?
Yeah,
how you gonna put him on the spot like that, man?
Yeah, because it's really hard to sort of narrow. I mean, I will say my all-time favorite horror film was Evil Dead 2.
Okay. I can't argue with that.
I'm a huge fan of Sam Raimi, and just for everything from the kinetic camera work to the gore to everything I think comes together with that. And that's, I guess some people consider that probably a horror comedy too, because it's almost like a parody of the first film. But that's my all-time favorite. I mean, I like, even though some people call it a psychological thriller, Silence of the Lambs I think is a perfect film.
Yeah.
And how it's shot, so that's like one of my favorites. Yeah, there's like I like Videodrome is probably my favorite David Cronenberg film.
Videodrome.
Yeah, which is actually very prescient because it actually deals with how there's like a personalities. The only way they know about this one person being a personality is him showing up on a television. So it's actually a precursor to those people that you only know them through Instagram or YouTube personalities
I
or
like it.
Twitch.
Interesting.
So
Okay.
yeah, it deals with technology. There's like almost like a VR helmet that you wear, and it talks about like these this guy finds out about this TV channel that deals with like S&M type stuff, and then when you start watching, you start having delusions and weird visions and stuff. It's a very freaky film. It's not for everybody, but it's definitely one of my favorite David Cronenberg, just based on just the ideas and the some of the weird special effects. You know, like his TV comes alive and all kinds of weird crap happens.
That sounds like it.
Yeah, it has a little bit of that in it.
Yeah.
In S&M, interesting.
Yeah. It's got Debbie Harry in it and James Woods.
Debbie
if you
Harry,
had
the
James
rocker?
Woods. Yeah.
What's it called again?
It's called Videodrome.
Videodrome.
It came out in the 80s.
Oh, wow.
I
I was trying to
definitely
remember
would've
that
missed that
horror
one.
movie that came out where they took over the house, because it was literally a movie and the woman was staying in the house. It was before we got all this stuff like Alexis and stuff, and the house literally locked her in, and that was one of the movie themes, but I cannot think of the name of it. But they literally locked the person in the house.
Mark,
That's
I'm
like
saying
one of
this
my
only-
real fears.
Mark, I'm saying this only because I love you, but I want to know whose house has Alexis in it.
I said Alexa, I mean Alexa. You know what I meant. I said it wrong, but you know what I meant. It's late, and I played a puppet earlier today, and I've had my other show going on, so it's late night, and I'm a little bit on the tired side, and still got to appear on one other person's podcast. So
Don't pick on Mark.
You know, I gotta love Mark. Hey,
He knows
Alexis, can you get me something?
Mark's beard is majestic.
That is true. That is very true.
Oh, but like I think that's a real fear. And well, you know, because I think about, I want a little Google hub or something, but then I feel like that Google is going to plot against me or lock me in or do weird stuff. I feel like
It's actually going to be Subway.
yeah.
They're out to get
do
you.
it first.
Yeah.
Hey, I brought it up
I'm
earlier.
just joking.
Toby, what did you think about the great king of sci-fi getting ready to go up in space? So William Shatner is getting ready to go up in space.
Oh yeah.
Part of this great journey.
I mean, I'm happy he's going, but it doesn't really change my life that much.
Yay! Type of thing.
Hey, you went into space. What about me? I mean,
What about the little guys?
although
There's
it was
so
freaking-
there's so much other shit going on in the world. Why are we spending all these trillions of dollars for white men to go to
People
space?
always have to be entertained.
I can understand the spending the money to bring down the technology so it becomes another commercial idea. Plus, at some point, we're going to have to leave this planet. I mean, we're already the resources on this planet are pretty depleted, or they're going to become depleted at some point. And at some point, we got to have that technology to move beyond, or the species and everything else is done. But that's years and years and years down the road. So I can understand trying to get ahead of the game and understand the technology. And also a lot of that technology that they're doing in space does help from, the stuff that we use today. A lot of the stuff is created based off of what NASA has done. So I understand all that. But, we got
that great drink chain from the space.
Am I happy about Shatner and stuff like that going to space? Sure. Does it really make me, ecstatic and want to cheer them on? Not really. I got other stuff to do.
I'm glad that you said that it's going to be many years down the line, because I know that a guest that I had on told me that it's actually going to be 10 to 15 years from now that we need to go to other places. And I'm hoping that you're right and he's wrong, because when he came on the show and he's like some climatologist, he's like, yep, Mark, in about 10, 15 years, Earth is going to be gone in terms of for us humans and everything. So I'm hoping that he's wrong and you're right.
I mean, we'll see. But again, I mean, the resources of the planet are becoming depleted, and eating up oil and all this other crap. Yeah, I mean, there's tons of stuff going.
I mean, I get it, the advancement, because I mean, yes, NASA has given us so much, forward technology, and then at the same time, it's like, if we're not taking care of this planet, how are we going to take care of other planets? We're just going to ruin the universe. It's I don't know, it's just interesting.
But there are some neat things out there. I mean, heck, that's why going back to horror,
I'd love to go to
Horizon. I love the concepts and ideas behind Event Horizon and the aliens and I love my favorite show right now is still The Expanse, because it's based off of science and how a ship will really be built and how it propels you forward, because you can't have the spaceship the way that Star Trek and Star Wars and everything else, which, Chris, we have to talk. Star Wars Visions is freaking phenomenal. That first episode, John, I don't know if you've seen it.
On what?
On Disney Plus.
Disney Plus.
But what if?
No, Star Wars Visions.
No, I haven't. I was gonna watch it here pretty soon. I don't spoil for me, because I'm gonna love it.
My God.
Don't spoil the ending.
That is probably that really made me love Star Wars.
Oh yeah.
More so. I mean, I've always liked Star Wars, and I've always enjoyed all the shows. But when they did this really this made me feel like I was a kid watching Star Wars.
Right. I've liked every Star Wars that's ever come out. Some people can disagree, but I still like it.
No, I like Star Wars and Star Trek.
Yeah.
It just told. I've been wanting Star Wars to tell more. I wanted it to expand the universe, because there's so much in the universe.
There's so much more than
But it's never really expanded it. It's always kept it around the Skywalkers.
Yeah.
Well, I'm really happy they're going to be getting into the Gray Jedi and all that stuff.
And so I wanted to see more of it, and that's why I enjoyed the Mandalorian. The Boba Fett series that's coming. But what they did with the whole Visions thing, that's what I truly enjoyed, because the stories they told were so neat.
I'm gonna watch it. I plan on it. I'm just running through some stuff.
I've had a few friends that are huge Star Wars fans that hate it.
Really?
Yeah, I think because it's telling it. I mean, it's, if you like anime, you'll definitely love Star Wars Visions. But because it's told,
I love anime.
because it's told in that format, I mean, there's some people, I guess, were kind of turned off by it, because each episode is like almost a different animation style to some degree, But it's
have you ever seen the Death Robot murder thing on Netflix?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You love Death Robots?
Love Death Robots.
They mix it up every time.
Yeah.
But I think the funniest thing somebody had posted, somebody on Twitter had said, like, these stories are they're too Japanese in their storytelling, and I'm like,
So we got Star Wars purists.
Did you know Star Wars came about because of George Lucas's love for Akira Kurosawa and samurai films?
No,
and you're saying that Star Wars is too much influence? That's too much Japanese. I'm like, to me, that's as someone that's been a lifelong Star Wars fan. I'm old enough to have seen the original films when they came out. I've been a big fan. I think the only thing I don't like is probably the Star Wars holiday special, which is horrible. That's probably the only Star Wars thing I don't like, because it's stupid. It's like,
it's so dumb.
That's like they did it on acid or something. But yeah, everything I've loved everything. Even though I was frustrated with the prequels, I liked elements of that. I like the new films. I mean, and I like anything they tell a different story. For me, as a horror filmmaker, I want to be able to direct the first Star Wars horror film, because they had some books called Death Troopers that I would love to see that in a Star Wars unit, sort of like what they're doing the What If, where we finally get Marvel zombies in some kind of story form. But yeah, I mean, I've been excited about it, but then at the same time, I also had to deal with either people crapping on me because I was a Star Wars fan, or crapping on me because I liked the prequels. And I actually saw the prequels 10 or 12 times each when they first came out.
Right.
So I don't know.
Gotta
People-
love
people are
those. You
stupid.
gotta love those purists, the ones that only want to do everything in that regard.
You're not
you give
allowed
me
to
a hard
like
time, Toby. You give me a hard time, Toby, about that whole puppet thing. The creator of that puppet group actually is Japanese American. Came here when his parents, I believe, were in the internment camps, and he actually worked for George Lucas. And he actually talks about that connection that Chris was talking about, which is the connection that George Lucas had to that Japanese style. So he actually, that's part of the reason that IPC, and it stands for I Paint Creatures. You can find him on YouTube. That he actually bonded with George Lucas and worked for him and everything. So definitely, George was a strong supporter of anime and Japanese, and IPC has told me about that on a regular basis. I was just really curious, and I do need to bounce off. I might come back toward the end, but just Chris, really quickly, what about because science fiction is really popular, ever since the Jetsons back in the day, and I didn't realize that was made all the way in 1962. But what are some of the science fiction things that you really like that you have seen us have now? And then I'll hear the answer and then bounce off.
Wow. You guys put people on the hot plate.
Right. That's how he does it.
I mean, Star Wars is probably my biggest thing. I mean, I like some Star Trek. I'm a more like Next Generation fan, I guess. When it comes to some of the stuff, I mean, I like some of the stupid sci-fi stuff. Like I even like things like Ice Pirates.
Oh my goodness.
which is horrible, but it's cheesy. But yeah, I mean, just some of the sort of the cheesy.
I like a lot of
80s
that cheesy foreign.
Yeah, some of the cheesy
films.
like 80s, sci-fi stuff that came out.
Homeboys in outer space.
Do what?
Homeboys in outer space.
Oh my gosh! Well,
I
I don't know if I'll go that far.
Homeboys in outer space.
And what was it? One season, if that.
Yeah. But I mean, like Last Starfighter, I was a big fan of that when it came out.
Last Starfighter was good.
Yeah, I mean, even it was like the first time they did like a lot of sort of CGI special effects and stuff. But yeah, I mean, I do like the sort of the crossover with horror, things like Aliens and that kind of stuff. I like it when you can sort of have that element that
Yep.
I guess
Like Cowboys versus Aliens. I thought that was a good movie.
Well,
hey, you don't. Yeah,
it's okay. But yeah,
I liked it.
It's okay. I don't hate it. But yeah, I mean, I like some of that stuff. It's especially when it's sort of like has an element of humor or heart to it sometimes.
Yeah, gotta love those. I'm going to bounce off. I will try to come back before you end.
What time is it? Yes, I need to bounce off.
Aww. Bye, Mark. Bye, John.
I'll be on for tomorrow if that's happening. But yeah.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
happening tomorrow too.
Well, I won't, but I'll see you next week.
Yes, that's right. I will be on. It's so good to see everybody and meet everybody.
Definitely.
Have a good one. I'm
Bye,
tired as hell.
All right.
Later.
Sorry, Mark. But yeah, Chris, I hadn't talked to you in forever. And once we started talking about horror movies, I had to get you on.
Oh, well, I appreciate it. I'm always open to talk about horror films. I've actually had a podcast a little bit earlier where we talked about one. So,
which one?
It's a one that comes out soon on Netflix. It's called Fever Dream. I didn't like it.
Have you guys? Oh, that's actually, speaking of Netflix, did you try was it a brand new flavor,
cherry flavor? Yeah, I haven't seen that yet. Everybody keeps pointing it out, and I'm gonna watch it soon because I know I'm always a sucker for any like filmmaker type series or movies.
And
I heard it's very like kind of weird and trippy.
Yeah. It's very interesting, the noir-esque style, how they're trying to tell it. What is it? The lady, the main character is played by the lady who did, what is it? Lita, I think it is, or did you ever see the show or the
Robert Rodriguez movie, Alita? Oh no.
No, the one that was based off of the anime. No, Alita. Is it Alita? Attila? It starts with an A. I can never remember the name
I know
of
you're
it.
talking about it. It's the one based on anime, but it was directed by Robert Rodriguez.
Yes.
Yeah.
So she is the main character. She was also in The Undone. I don't know if you've seen The Undone. The
I haven't seen
Undone
that
was
one.
actually really well done. Actually, Kara, you would like The Undone. It's more of a, it's not a psychological thriller, but it's a psychological mystery, um, which kind of is redundant. But the whole story in The Undone is not to give much away, but in the trailer it tells you that this woman just had a bad experience and she's trying to figure it all out, and that's it. It's done in a cell shaded format. They did a neat cartoon overlay over it, and the acting was it was really good. The story that it told was good. The payoff at the end, it, I figured I felt they could have done it a better way, but it's well worth the watch. I mean, they said they were going to do a season 2 of it. I don't know how they would do a season 2. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
But season 1 of The Undone was it was really it was good. It's very intriguing. But that main character was also the main character in A Brand New Flavor of Cherry, and
Okay.
it feels like they're trying a little too hard in The Brand New Flavor of Cherry.
Mm-hmm.
They want it to be different, but they're pushing the envelope a little bit too far to get away from the story just to be different. That's what it feels like when I was watching it.
Well, I know it was based on a book, so I know
Mhm.
they changed a little bit of stuff from the book.
Well, when I Google it, though, there's a movie where it's about a young deaf couple taking a cabin so that the guy can work on his novel and then stuff unwinds. And then there is like a series. So you're talking about this series?
Yes.
Are you talking about American Horror Story?
No,
Undone.
Undone. Okay, because that actually sounds a little bit similar to the new American Horror Story. One of the movies that just came out.
Oh, really?
I tell you what, a film that is in my top 10 list this year for horror films. There's one that just came out on Netflix called No One Gets Out Alive.
I saw that.
Which was one of the few films that actually kind of scared me and creeped me out. And is well crafted and has some really wonderful acting and stuff. Okay. It has a really great story to it. I mean, it has some really creepy moments. Because you have this, the basic premise. You have this girl she's from I think she's from Mexico, and she sort of finds her way into the States after her mom dies, and so she finds this sort of sketchy place to stay, and she keeps seeing these sort of ghost type figures and things, and then the sort of the story slowly peels away as it goes along, but it's got some really creepy and scary moments in it. Okay. And it's one of my favorite films of the year so far that I've seen. It's called No One Gets Out Alive, but it just dropped on Netflix like a week or so ago. We actually got to review it early before it dropped because I review stuff for like Gruesome Magazine, their podcast that they do. So, but I would definitely check it out. But you might leave the lights on after you watch it. It's funny how I make horror films, and I'm the biggest scaredy cat in the world. It's like I have to keep my door closed in my bedroom. I can't, because if I see a dark hallway, I'm not going to get much sleep, because my mind's automatically thinking there's something in that hallway. I need to get out of here. But yeah, I really enjoyed that film. It's really well crafted. It has some great scares. It's very almost like a little bit of Haunting a Hill House, and just how they sort of craft the scares in it. So I would definitely check that out if you're into horror films.
Hey, I'm curious about that one.
I think that the main actress in that is amazing. And also the ending of it is visually has one of the sort of the weirdest, creepiest, coolest things I've seen in a while. I'm not going to say anything to give away, but it takes it in a very different direction by the end of it. You're like, what?
Okay.
But you have to see it to find out.
Yeah, I'm curious now. I'm curious because I mean, I I like movies. I'll watch pretty much anything. Um, from Ted Lasso right now is still one of my favorite TV shows. I don't know if you've seen that one yet, Chris.
You know what? I've recently got Apple TV for like free for 3 months because I just got a new computer so I could do my video editing.
Gotcha.
And I hadn't watched it, and I went to Florida this past weekend because my brother was in town for a business thing, and so we went to Halloween Horror Nights while I was there. But anyway, he hooked up his little Fire Stick into the TV in the hotel, and I actually watched a few episodes of Ted Lasso, and I heard so many good things about it because it's supposed to be such a positive show. One of those shows it's all about positivity and bringing out the positivity in people, which is kind of hard to pull off. I was really impressed by that. After just watching 2 episodes, like I want to be able to write dialogue like that. That's on that level of sort of wittiness and heartfeltness.
You said you only watched what, 2 episodes?
Yeah, just 2 episodes.
So the first season, and I'll tell you this, Kara, you would love Ted Lasso too, but the first season's uplifting. It's really cool. It's very moving. There's some great sayings in there. Even at the end, I mean, it has a great payoff. There is no real letdown in the show. First season, great. You'll love it. You're uplifted. I'm ready to watch Ted Lasso. Second season, bring some tissues, bring some toilet paper, bring whatever you got to wipe your eyes because you will bawl.
I was wondering where you're going with the toilet paper.
You're gonna poop yourself. Like that's what I was thinking.
It's gonna disorient you, make you.
Make sure to wear your.
I mean, like,
it'll make you release all your
you
digestive
everything
tract.
comes out. And it's crazy though, because like the first season, I mean, you want to watch it. The second season, you're like, I want to watch it, but I gotta watch it by myself because I know I'm going to ugly cry for the next 30 minutes. I'm gonna just straight ugly cry because it really hits you, and when you watch it, because as you saw those first 2 episodes, you really kind of feel yourself as Ted Lasso, and you really you can empathize with what he's going through. You feel everything about it, and then the other characters begin to grow on you, and you feel for those characters. So in the second season, they really explore more of the other characters and really put you in positions of, man, this is painful. This is hurting my heart. It's uplifting at parts. It's still got that, hey, we got a positive message. But that positive message now has, I've got to cry for 30 minutes and then smile at the end. Because it really is. And it's written so well. But yeah, yeah. That second season, yeah.
Too much. So much.
But it's very
enjoyable.
Very
welcome
enjoyable.
Back.
Morgan, have you seen Ted Lasso yet?
I have not. I've heard good things, but I have not.
Just like I was telling these guys, the first season you'll love it. I mean, even the second season you'll love, but I mean, the first season you'll love it. You're feeling positive, loving life. That second season, bring everything you can to wipe up your tears because you will cry. Every episode, you will cry, but you'll be happy at the end. But you will cry.
I don't
Right
know, man.
now.
I'm an OG.
Yeah.
I'm an OG, triple OG, man. I can't be out here crying. You know what I mean?
Hey, that's why I watch it by myself.
You know, one show that I love is that I've been watching, and I love that I have to watch the new episode every week. But Only Murders in the Building.
Oh, how is that?
I love it because it takes me back to where you think, but you're not like overrun with pure emotion. You're just like, huh, that's very interesting. Like the old kind of campy, like funny ha-ha comedy with some drama. But I mean, it's cute because it is like a play, and the makeup of an apartment building, and I love it. And it has Martin Short and Steve Martin in it, and Selena Gomez, and they're actually all like, well, Selena Gomez is executive producer, and they're all like big parts of the show, and it's really cool. I like it, and it just, you think, but you're not taken through the emotional ringer,
Okay.
That I should probably I probably need to find some type of balance
Yeah.
with the shows that I watch, like, because I don't mind I don't mind, and I actually probably look for digging deep on things like emotionally, whether it's drama or whatever. Especially because I'm cerebral about stuff when I'm watching it, because I'm gonna put myself in it. And like the show I was talking about earlier, scenes from a marriage. Um, I just think like Jessica Chastain, and I forgot the guy. It's my first time seeing this guy. I got to look his name up, but they're doing an incredible job. With the
The
story.
guy who arm kissed her and on the runway, they're all like ridiculous chemistry.
Maybe no. What? I don't know. Is it the same show?
I don't know. What's it called? Secrets of a Marriage?
No, scenes. I think it's called Scenes from a Marriage.
Oh, scenes.
Oh, that's the one that came on. Is that the new one on HBO?
Yeah, it's on HBO Max. It's a limited series. It's a limited series. I think we're 3, maybe 4 episodes in now. It's a slow burn at first, but once it like picks up, my goodness, it really goes. And I just think they're doing a great job. It's a tug on things emotionally though, but it causes really good conversations, in my opinion, about a myriad of whether you're in a relationship. Like so because my boy Javon that I do the show with is the one that I think he told me about it in the group, and that's what made me go watch it. And I think the night after we watched episode 1 or 2, one of the questions we asked is like, "Yo, is cheating a deal breaker?" You know what I'm saying? Because I think I've had that conversation before on my page by itself without like a show prompting, but you'd be surprised, you know what I'm saying, what people's answers are to stuff, because everybody has different things that are deal breakers for them. You know what I'm saying? Like we have things that are usually commonplace, but there's also different things that are deal breakers for different people, and some that's like you might think it's a deal breaker for most, and for that person it's not. That's one of the interesting conversations we had. I mean, some of it becomes funny because it's, of course, when you put yourself in the situations, like, nah, she can get her stuff and get out, or you know what I'm saying, or the opposite side of that, or like what you would do, if you're in certain situations. But I'm trying to think. It's like Ted Lasso, I've heard is like, isn't he like a motivational coach or something?
No, he's a soccer coach. But he's a. I just got hit again.
Yeah, you like to get run over.
Yeah, but yeah, he's a soccer coach, and well, he was a football coach, an American football coach working for, I forgot. Skip that one.
As long as it's not the Cowboys.
Yeah, he was coaching Wichita State.
Okay.
So, and then he ends up getting to coach one of the Premier League teams, and so it's just a story about how he's, coaching his team, and it's really cool because it's not about soccer. It's not about the actual thing that he's supposed to be a part of. It's there, but it's not about that. It's about life. It really is, and it brings up and some of the things that he says. Some of the things that they quote are just perfect quotables that you can actually use. That's why, Kara, I think it'd be great because, being a life coach, and a health coach. I mean, a lot of stuff that they say, you could probably even repeat. It is so cool, and it's
I mean, maybe
Kara in a
they got
man's
it
body.
from me. Just
yeah,
kidding.
It's Kara in a man's body on TV.
pretty much.
Whoa.
Okay.
Although he
All right.
doesn't have the phone sex operator voice, but
I mean, nobody can have that. It's fine.
Yeah, that's correct. That's correct. That is. I mean, I can't remember who else it was that was talking about it, or if I just heard there were good reviews. But I mean, I'm trying to think. There's so much. I'm very glad that we're living in an age where there's a golden. I don't even know. This might be a platinum era of content, like TV shows and stuff like that. There's so much out there to watch that is really good because there are a lot of creators now that have the space to show themselves in ways they've never had before because there's only a few studios to put things forward, and you know what I'm saying. Same thing with video games. Same thing with like I love TikTok and stuff for that reason. Like because there are some extremely talented people that we would have never known how talented they were if it wasn't for TikTok or Vine or these other things or Instagram or you know what I mean. Like we would have never known about these people because the gatekeepers would have kept them from us, so we would have never seen them. I think the same thing with directors. There's the same thing with writers. Like I love the era we're in, man. Not just because I'm a writer, but you know what I mean. Like there's some really great content out here, like really great shows, comedy wise and every other genre.
Well, it just goes back to just how important representation is. You know, of course, there are trailblazers in life who are like, I'm just going to be this because that's all I know I can be or all I know I can, you know, present things as. But then there are a lot of people who are like, I didn't know that I could show that side of myself or that I could do that or whatever. So I think like it definitely is that golden era of just different types of content because I think it's showing people that you can show and develop emotional intelligence as well. Like the fact that you are like, hey, you know, there are so many quotables, you know, that, I mean, that's good that there's a show that is like that because it's showing people that, you know, you don't have to, you know, be the facilitator or react to like a, you know, married with children's world. You know, I mean, when you see like, you know, classic shows, you think like, oh, you know, that's how it's supposed to be or whatever. But the more you see people just living life, how people have been living, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, no, I identify with that. You know, I identify with being messy. I identify with, you know, whatever. You know, especially that's why even shows like Pose, you know, so important because it just shows a world and just an amazing community of people who already existed, you know. So it's awesome that there is content like there is now, which is pretty much everything that you imagine, you know. Pretty awesome.
It helps. It really helps to grow what's the word I'm looking tolerance. It helps to grow tolerance because there's a lot of things that in American society especially are just taboo in the mind because you haven't experienced it yourself. So but once you come into contact with it and realize it's not what you were thinking it was in the first place, it for open-minded people is going to change your perspective. You know what I mean? Like, especially if you're
even
not
just acceptance, you know, like just acceptance and like experiencing it, embracing it.
Yeah, especially if it's not something that you're used to, if it's not something that you were open-minded to before, but you are an open-minded person, we're just living in a time like for a lot of people, like that's something I could say from that show, from Scenes from a Marriage, uh, open relationships. Um, I don't think the majority of the populace can handle that. But there are people out there that have been doing this for forever, and it works fine for them. But there's a lot of people that would be trying to tell them that they're wrong, or have issues with their lifestyle, call them all kinds of names or whatever, because it's not. If it's not something that's religious, then it's just something that you just weren't taught that way, so that's not the right way to do it, and then you just get judgmental. And I think we're just living in a time period where you don't have to. I don't know, man. I think contact is really important when it comes into play with acceptance, because if you don't know that these lifestyles exist and then you run into them, whether you want to or not,
It's about
then
education. I mean,
Yeah.
if you don't,
Because if you didn't think, oh, I can, like, there's this thing called open relationships, and it doesn't mean cheating. It expands and breaks open the fact that you don't need to live in a black and white world, but you can still have a stance and have your beliefs on your identity, but it can be in a gray world.
and it might not be like, and that's what I think that's one of the most important things for me personally. One of the most important things that I think people, period, can do is learn, because I think in America, especially right now, it's so everything has to be so freaking polarizing. Like there is no, people don't like nuance or gray area, or you know what I'm saying? Like that's how life exists, but that's not what people want. They want, a lot of it's because the media is teaching people to media on all sides is
So I mean, I'll agree with, yes, there's stuff in there, but I mean, it's not equivalent on both sides, so I can't do it on all sides. But I think one of the things that we get into is that we're scared to change.
I agree.
We're fearful of what happens in change. We don't know what's going to be on the other side of that door. We talked about
Evolutionarily, it means death.
Yeah, and so we talked about horror movies earlier, and how we'll sit there and we'll watch a film, and Kara told us about that your mind actually goes through those things, those tremors. Well, in real life, I mean, what's outside? It's dark outside at my house. I don't know if the light's not on and something moves, I'm screaming.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm scared to death, but that's change. And so we're afraid to change. So if somebody brings up something that I don't know about, because fear, a lot of fear, and this is the discussion we had way back when we talked about my big belief is that ignorance breeds fear. And if we don't know what's there, that's going to make us scared, because we don't know what's going to happen with us. Is it going to attack us? What's going on? Am I scared? What am I supposed to do? I don't know about this. So if I don't know, if I'm not truly educated about, open relationships, then I'm going to be scared if somebody comes up and talks to me about this open relationship, because I may not know exactly, they may be wanting to get me into this relationship. I don't want to do with that. I'm, and it's all freaky and stuff. They may be spreading diseases. I mean, it's just ignorance out of, instead of, and this goes back to a Ted Lasso thing, because he talked about this too. But yeah, we are trained more so to be fearful and hateful rather than to be inquisitive and loving. And that's not media stuff. I mean, it is. I can't take it away from it, but it's also ingrained. It's one of those things that we're just fight or flight. That's what we deal with. That's our life.
Well, one, hey John, hi, and two, like it's like shame or be shamed. you know, and it tugs at that core aspect of that. And that's why, you know, societies and cultures are built on that. And so if you have that perpetual, like, oh, like, you know, those misconceptions of, oh, you're gonna like bring me in, like, that's why it took so long for me to like identify as anything but 100% heterosexual, because I was like, oh, I like, you know, bisexuality, like you have to pick a lane or whatever. And so like really like there's fear in that. So then learning and being inquisitive, like you said, and getting out of that fear and shame or afraid of being shamed, like that's so important. But like so many people don't go through, they don't get past the first hurdle because they're like stuck in that fear and shame mode. And oddly enough, since we're like talking about like different relationships, oddly enough, like I've been like, I was just actually going to start reading. I have it in my library. Polysecure, and it's about just talking about just security and relationships and how that is the basis of like the whole poly lifestyle. And so it's kind of funny we're talking about that. But
Hey,
anyways,
that's what happens when you're playing I Am Fish. Everything comes out.
Well, the interesting thing is a lot of those type of subjects that we start seeing now in TVs and movies were kind of broached usually in sci-fi and horror films. They're sort of disguised within those, you know, because even things like Get Out sort of get into a lot of the social issues, and they can delve into a lot more because of the horror aspect or even the sci-fi aspect of it. Because there's always been things in the past, even old horror films or old sci-fi films that deal with like, you know, aliens. Like, have you ever seen Alien Nation? You know, where it deals with integrating this aliens into, you know. So there's a lot of, you know, when it comes to, you know, foreign people coming into the country. So yeah, it's funny how a lot of times like you can mask it if you throw it into a horror sci-fi film, but nowadays we're getting a lot of different content with, luckily, with all these different streaming services and stuff, to where you can see different stories from different perspectives, whether it be, you know, relationships or ethnic backgrounds. And that's the cool thing, because now you get to learn so much about other different cultures and societies and people in general, you know, instead of it having to usually be masked within an alien or some monster bursting out of your stomach.
Speaking of that same thing, one of the great, Chris, that's one of the best points, because a great example of that is Lovecraft Country.
Oh, I love Lovecraft Country.
Gosh.
There's, you know, that's one of the, it's funny, like that's one of the few things I've seen recently where I learned from it. I learned about history I never knew about as a white person that just learned about like stuff they put in these stupid history books. Don't really talk about a lot of the massacres, a lot of the horrible things that have happened in the past that, you know, it was probably learned a whole lot more in different places. You know, growing up in the South, you don't learn shit about anything, you know? I love that sort of mixture of like the sci-fi, fantasy, horror aspect of it, and also the horrors of real life and history that nobody talks about, like the Tulsa, you know, massacre and that kind of stuff. Yeah,
And the
I'd love
sundown
that.
towns, and I mean, just everything about that. They hit on everything.
Lovecraft Country destroyed that. Watchmen did a really good job too.
Watchmen did too.
Watchmen did a phenomenal job.
Watchmen did an amazing job. The entire reason, because I never watched the movie Watchmen, but the entire reason I went to go watch the series was because I had heard about that they were doing Tulsa in the first episode, and I said, well, let me see what they're doing. Let me see what they're showing, and that I started watching it for that reason, and then I just got hooked on their telling of it. You know what I'm saying? And they melded so much into that season that it was insane. Like but that's one of my favorite things. Like that's one of the reasons. Like Jordan Peele is like, I don't call people gods or anything, you know what I'm saying? But that dude is my spirit animal, I'll say. Like there are writers that I look up to, directors and stuff that I look up to a lot for what they're able to do because they're doing the work that I ultimately want to do. You know what I'm saying? Jordan Peele is one of them. Um, Tommy Adeyemi, the writer for Children of Blood and Bone, and Children of Virtue and Vengeance. She's another one. Um, um, I love Issa Rae too.
Yes.
Uh,
Love
uh,
her.
Issa Rae. There's somebody I just had to. I literally saw their face in my head. Now it's blank. Oh, Ryan Coogler. Um, Ryan
Hey,
Coogler.
Yeah.
Like those. I look up to them so much because they're doing now, right now, what I ultimately want to do. You know what I mean? So, and that's being able to teach it exactly what Chris just said. Like to be able to teach and also entertain at the same. Like I could give you a really good story that if you don't want the extra information, if you don't want the extra curiosity or whatever, I can give you just a really good story that on its face by itself is already just a really good story. But once you add in the historical elements to it, and once you add in the other things that I'm trying to like kind of kickstart your brain to be curious or want to know more about it, then it takes it to a whole nother level. Because I love stuff like that. Like I love one of the reasons I love Coco and Moana are because they stay in their lane, they stay in their culture. That's one of the biggest things I love about Black Panther is the fact that they did not take Bast out of it. They didn't cross it into this is our Christian version of this. You know what I'm saying? They made it, and I say that as a Christian myself, but I want if you're going to tell your story, I want to learn about your culture. I want to learn about your religion. I want to learn why you believe what you believe and stuff like that. So don't change it to make it palatable for anybody. Tell the story how it needs to be. Tell the truth how it needs to be in anything. If you're going to bring it to us from your community, from your culture, from your experience, don't change it for anybody. Do what is true to it because otherwise you're not doing it justice. You know what I mean? And at that point, you take away some of my contacts, some of my curiosity, some of my want to be educated in that way. And my brain's always like hungry for something new to learn. So I mean, I love stuff like that. Like that. Those are the biggest reasons I love those movies. Is because they stay in their lane. And Marvel's done a good job of that across the board. Like I give them a lot of credit. They've done a really good job. Like if there's a lane to run in for that character, they're not like switching that character and being like, well, this is our ultra Christian version of it. You know what I'm saying? Like they're not doing that. They're not like, well, this person is, you know what I'm saying? Like they're not like going overboard like that. Now I will say the difference in between Marvel and DC, one is DC does not care about uh constituents at all.
In their comic books, they do though. That's the crazy
Yeah,
part. They do
but
great
we
on the
talking about
comics.
cinematically.
Their
Cinematically,
anime, I mean, their movie, their cartoons, they do
they
great
give
job.
zero. They have zero F's to give when it comes to movies. None. Like they literally just continue to repackage people's Batmans and Supermans over and over and over again, and we're like, yeah. And you know what I'm saying? You keep freaking spending, I mean, millions of dollars every freaking time. Like you literally just destroyed with Christopher Nolan, with Christian Bale, and those films and the Dark Knight series, and you come back around, you're like, what can we do next? I know. Let's have Ben Affleck play Batman now. Yeah. And then I like, no, that's not enough. Let me go get Robert Pattinson to play him too. Yeah. Like come on, bro. What are you doing? When you see Marvel over here destroying the world with one continuity of just connecting their stories, and you're like, nah, I think I'll just come up with like 5 different Batman. Why? Why are you doing that? And then you say you're gonna do Superman, and Superman's gonna be black, and I'm like, please don't let it be Clark Kent. Please don't let it be Clark Kent. Please don't let it be Clark. As long as it's not Kal-El, I'm fine. But if it's Kal-El, I'm gonna be pissed.
Yeah, well,
it better not be. It better not be Jacoby. Well, you know what? They can do what they want. They make a lot more money than I do. But I'm just
You know
telling
how DC is.
I agree. And that's why I expect nothing less but terrible. So
like 20 minutes ago, we had a new person enter.
Oh yeah,
Hi.
Jahan. What up, man?
what up,
Just
John?
busting in.
Yeah, what's going on, man?
Hi, we have a new person.
You gotta spare me because I'm at this. So I'm at Yotel, and I don't know how good this Wi-Fi is because I'm on my. I use my like my not a MacBook. I can't even think about it right now because I'm so tired. I had a long day because I'm working at Comic-Con this week. But yeah, I'm just using like a just little, not the actual laptop. I'm using like the smaller versions of it, whatever. I can't even think of it right now. But anyways, huh?
I said it's working really well.
Oh, it's working really well. Okay, cool. How y'all doing tonight?
Oh, pretty good.
Pretty good.
Oh, Jahan, did you ever meet these two? Because Chris makes movies and Morgan does comics.
Oh, cool. That's what's up.
Yep.
I never met them. This is my first time meeting them.
It was nice to meet you, man.
Nice to meet you, man.
My name is Jahan. I'm based out of New York City.
Okay.
I'm into the whole esports realm, so that's mainly what I do. Right now I'm just doing a Comic-Con. It's this weekend in New York City. I got hired to do a gig, so I'm doing like the gameplay portion of Comic-Con, working with this other company that got hired to do it. So they hired me as an independent contractor to do that event with them.
Oh, that's hot.
Oh, cool.
Man, that's crazy, that the irony of that, because my one of my boys had just asked me. Danny is supposed to be doing a local Comic-Con, I think in Greensboro this weekend, but my boy saw the New York Comic-Con going on. He was like, "Y'all going to New York Comic-Con?" I was like, "Not to my knowledge." I was like, "I hope so." It surprised me too. You know what I'm saying? But he I think he had saw my boy's ad for the one in Greensboro. He was thinking it was New York, and I was like, "Hey, you let me know. Shoot, you about to put me on to something." I do plan on getting up there at some point, though.
Yeah, I mean, Comic-Con is not what it used to be. It's starting to lose kind of like its flavor. I mean, people still go because they go there to get collectibles and stuff like that, and that's just much what they really got going for themselves at this point. Everything else is kind of like even we're coming back now, right? Like it's already been like a year since we haven't gone to any conventions, and now only reason why I would say Comic-Con is doing well this year is because people are, they want to come back to going, they want to go to conventions. So I don't see really nothing special happening in Comic-Con, really, honestly. But I mean, there's a lot of people here. There's a lot of vendors, exhibitors at Comic-Con. So there's gonna be a lot of people. I mean, people are here again. They're just here because they're just glad to be out. They're glad to go back to their regular conventions, So
yeah.
I mean, honestly, like anyone does like any event, I think people are gonna come out, and support. I mean, this is the best time right now, sadly, to say that because of COVID. People just want to go out. They just want to go somewhere. If it's something that's entertaining, if it's their bill, then most likely will go to it. That's the way I mean,
my boy Greg Anderson Elise is up there. So I mean, whenever I come up there, I know I'm gonna run into him, and he's more than likely he insists that I go with him to like an orgy or something. So I'm gonna have to be very careful because otherwise he will literally walk me in there and just leave me at the front and be like, "Hey man, have fun with that," and then like hit me up 2 hours later, and I have no idea what's going on until it's too late. So I might hit. I don't know, bro. I might have to rap with you a little bit so I can hit you up just in case. I don't trust
Gamers Den after hours for sure. My goodness.
Hey, I'm just being honest.
Going to orgies?
Get trapped in orgy den.
Not of my own volition. I'm just telling you what the man said.
I don't know how I ended up here. I'm butt naked.
He's made that very clear to me. He's made it very clear to me that that's what's that he is going to one way or the other one. He's gonna walk me into something, and I'm like, but why though? Like, why are you? You know what I'm saying? Like, I can. We've had at least 5 conversations about this, and every time I'm like, yeah, but why? Like, why? You know what I'm saying? Like, and he's like, bro, don't worry about it. I'm gonna do it, and I'm like, man. And I've never been to New York, so I would have no idea. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would have no idea, and then about it, it's too late. So. Y'all keep your phones on, okay? Kara, I might call. So
yeah, I mean, I can't help you from Cincinnati, but I mean, if Jacoby's time zones can be off, your geography can be off as well.
You can. No, I wasn't gonna call you because I knew you weren't in New York, but you could like call the authorities or something, like call an Uber. I don't know what he's gonna do. I just expect a setup.
I need you to go to this house. There's this butt naked dude standing outside.
That's what I'm saying. If I end up butt naked anywhere, somebody please come get me. Like, don't leave me out here butt bald. Like, that's not cool.
Well, if you walk into a room and they're all wearing masks and cloaks, you should just go the other direction.
Yeah, Chris, just walk out. Just say no to peer pressure. Just walk out.
He's take literally some pictures.
You know, this is what you wanted on your Kickstarter. That's what they asked for.
Well, there's no Kickstarter going on. That's the problem. Okay?
Well, just make sure that on your way out, someone throws glitter on you.
Oh God, Carrie, you're not helping, and you're supposed to help. Like that does not help anything.
And that you're wearing flannel.
That's special orgy glitter.
That helped. Oh my God. Yeah, no. I'm just afraid. Is all I'm saying. I'm concerned. I don't know what to expect. So, if Danny's with me, he might not. But if for any reason Danny walks off somewhere, like goes with his family somewhere, I don't know what to do now because I'm in New York.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I've always been the friend who's like, okay, you're the Buck Wild friend. I will let you be, and then I'll just send a search party for you. But I'm not getting in your business. I'm not getting in your wild stuff.
Why can't you? But I'm literally inviting you to my business. Why don't you? Please get in the business. I don't want to be in the business by myself. That's what I'm saying.
So you want us to send an Uber for a butt naked Kara and a butt naked Morgan?
Whoa, no. Kara minds her own business.
Yeah, I don't know.
Safe and sound, hanging out with her.
I don't want to be
living her life, being an old single lady. Kara's fine.
I don't want to be butt naked anywhere out in public.
Morgan is having more. Yeah.
No. See, that's what I'm saying. I didn't say I wanted to do that. I said he wants me to do that, and I'm afraid, is what I said. But
yeah, just walk away. Be your own person, Morgan.
Okay, I'm gonna do my best.
I'd probably be that clueless person in those type of situations.
Thank you.
I remember,
Chris
the funny thing is, like a few years ago, I go to Dragon Con about every year. Mm-hmm. And one year, like the day before it all starts, this really beautiful girl comes up to me and starts chatting me up. And I'm like, oh, wow. She's wearing like little horns and stuff, you know, because everybody cosplays and stuff. I was like, oh, this girl seems to be in it. She's asking me questions about myself. I'm not used to people chatting me up. Yeah. I was like, and she kept talking to me. It's like, oh, we'd have a good time together. I was like, yeah, sure. And I'm totally close. Like, yeah, we'd have a good time. Do you have a hotel room? I was like, whoa, you know, and she's like, we can have a good time. And I kept putting it off. And then later on, she's like, yeah, we can have a good time for $200. And I was like, oh, great. And evidently all the blood drained out of my face because I was like, I realized, oh crap. I just had a prostitute. Like,
oh man, what do you mean? Did you take this or no? You know?
And I for a moment there, I was like, "Do you take Venmo?" No, but
there you go.
Yeah, I did. But I was so embarrassed about the whole situation that evidently I looked like this goober that some lady of the night could walk up to, and I'm going to give her $200.
Man,
I was like,
you should have just asked her what a Cash App was. It's no shame. That's not what I did. I was just like,
I'm totally clueless. I don't get. Yeah, so That's why I'm
You
I'm
guys
on
are
business. I'm like,
ridiculous.
I'm calling Kara. At least we know now. Like that's my go-to. If something weird happens, I'm calling Kara.
I feel like I should block your number now.
You've been dubbed.
I don't want to be an accomplice or any enabler to anything. You know those people in the horror movies who are like, the friend is down, like help me, and then the friend walks off. I'm the friend who walks off. Sorry,
Yeah.
Come on,
I
man.
can't do this.
It's because I trust you, Kara. That's why. Hard to find friends these days. It's okay. I'm just not going to mute. I'm just not
Jahan
going
will
to go
take
to
care of you though. Jahan will. He's right up
He's
there.
the one in actual New York.
Yeah.
Dang
Yeah.
it, we can get you past those drunken people being on the subway and.
Oh yeah, I'll be your personal bodyguard. You don't have nothing to worry about.
Hey, bet. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to come up there looking for a fight, but I can throw hands though. If it calls for it, I can do it. I promise. We can be like tag team brothers.
Maybe we use a different word.
What?
save that for the orgy.
No.
Tag team back again.
There'll be no tag team orgies around here. That's not gonna happen.
On that note, it is 11:06, and I'm going to bed.
All right.
Yeah, I'm done. This has gone too far. This is Toby's fault, man. He did this.
I'm innocent. I got all my clothes on.
I got my clothes on too. What? I'm clearly wearing a black shirt. I know I'm dark skinned, but I ain't that dark. It literally says John versus everybody right here. You can see that.
I think most killers in history probably wore their clothes. Doesn't make them innocent.
Can't wait for losing, man. That's weird.
So what y'all? Here's a question: what's everybody doing next Wednesday?
With your crazy ass.
Staying off the pole.
Yeah. We're gonna work on these polls, though. We're gonna work on these polls.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay off the pole.
Really?
You gonna work on
That's my number
After the conversation we've had, I'm like, what kind of poll?
I'm having flashbacks to being at Comedy Works.
Yeah.
We're gonna take it a little too far.
I didn't start this, man. Jacoby did.
I'm innocent.
Kara made it worse.
Oh my gosh.
It's all Kara's fault. All Kara's fault.
Accountability, guys. Accountability.
I accept my role with the orgy thing.
Jahan and Chris are my guys. I'm cutting you loose.
Wow.
Man, look at there.
God.
Savage.
I didn't say I wanted to be at the orgy. Jesus Christ. I just said what the man said he's gonna do.
Don't bring Jesus into this.
It's too late. Too late. Too late.
But next Wednesday, I'll be here with you.
All right.
We're gonna block Morgan. Jahan, you come on.
Yeah, Chris, you gotta come
and
on.
Chris, come on.
Hey, I understand. It's cool.
Morgan just needs to be hosed off for a while.
I understand.
Hold on, he's going to the orgy, so he's gonna get hosed on.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't know any good orgies.
Wow.
I don't know any good orgies. He's the one with the orgies. I don't know what the orgies are. I'm just afraid. I don't want an orgy. I don't want it.
Terrified.
I don't even feel safe anymore. I don't feel safe. It's okay. I'll watch and do like this on camera. It's okay. I don't have to be a part of it. It's cool. Fine.
But yeah, next Wednesday. Yeah, let's do this again next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday.
I'm gonna send y'all the link.
Yeah, just let me know.
Yeah, I'm gonna get
We
drunk.
gotta talk about more movies, more shows, get y'all to watch. Some good stuff.
I will never talk about orgies again.
Yeah. We'll talk about more orgies next week because Morgan's gonna have one that happened this weekend. You know how it goes.
Oh, this weekend.
I'm
Hey,
not
I'm going to
saying-
be in North Carolina this
Okay, that's
weekend,
right.
guys. Away from
Oh,
you
snap.
all.
Maybe there will be an orgy.
No.
Yes.
No, I'm blocking you
Yes.
now. Officially blocking you.
can't win.
No. I'm excited. I'm gonna be so really far away from all of you. And but yeah, it's for a wedding. I'm excited.
Oh, that's great.
Cool.
I'm
Is it
gonna
like
be
a-
in a cabin in the mountains. Resort cabin away from people. It'll be fun.
Good. That's
That's
That
where
sounds
the
fun.
it's where the crazy
Bourbon,
hillbillies are.
campfires, blocking Morgan. It's gonna be great.
Just don't. If you hear
Hey.
banjos, lock your door.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no. That's why I even go
I agree.
home to certain parts of Indiana and I'm terrified. I'm like,
Yeah.
deliverance.
If there are any really weird road signs or people with masks on that aren't like the surgical ones, just turn around and go the other way.
If their name is Morgan, I'm turning around and going away.
Good. Oh my gosh, I don't.
Oh, before we
What's
get
your
off here,
name, weird sir?
before we
I-
get off here,
I'm gonna change my own name.
Chris. See, this is a good way, so we won't have to talk about orgies the rest of the way because I've been wanting to show Chris this. I
Okay.
showed Kara. I've showed you this one before. It's a game called Tharsis. I don't know if you ever heard of it, but Tharsis is think of how Attack on Titan is all about death. I mean, nothing ever is good in Attack on Titan. Tharsis is the same way. Everything is going to die. No matter how hard you try, everything dies. But it's how you want it to die. That's the worst part about it.
Oh God.
And it is
What?
Yeah. This game, it's good. It's actually super freaking addictive because
you die?
well, I mean, the whole point of the game is you are on a mission to Mars. During that trip, there's an explosion that happens on your ship. You have a crew now. You started with a crew of 5 people. Now you have a crew of 4 people because one of them died. They are now sitting in your medical bay. But you still have to make the trip to Mars because you don't want to turn back. And you have here, I'll show you. You got.
Can you just throw them out in space?
Already.
Yep.
I disagree with this game already.
I would get him out of the ship. I've seen the thing. I know what happens.
So you've got these 4 crew members. You can actually unlock some depending on how long you play. I haven't gotten to the point. I'm almost unlocking this one and this one. But so there's this when it starts. The explosion happened. You're still far away from your ship. This one lady has now died. She's now been brought back onto the ship. Your other members are a little bit stressed. So you have these attacks that happen every week. You have 10 weeks to get to Mars. And you have to last because there are problems that will happen throughout the ship. Your whole goal is to survive. Like there's a meteor strike. So I have to go into this area here, which is my life support system, and fix the meteor strike. Each character, these white squares up under each one of them, tells you how many dice they have or the ability or the amount of dice they have to use to fix that area. And to fix that area, you have to roll a particular number. So, for example, if I take the mechanic here, I have to repair that area by rolling a 23 or rolling a sum of number or your sum of dice up to the number 23. If I roll a 2 or a 3, that dice is stuck in that 2 or 3. However, as you continue to roll, I mean, you'll notice, I've got 2 rolls. I've ended up rolling 5, which sucks. But now this one's frozen. So I'll try and roll again because I need higher numbers, of course. All right, cool. So now I can take this down to 10. To finish that repair, I need to roll 10 in terms of the dice that I have. So this person is done. So I finished his deployment. If I do not fix that area, these 2 red squares show you that it takes damage on top by this hull or onto your hull. There's another area back here that I've got to roll at least an 8 to fix that so I don't take damage there. So, for example, if I go here, deploy, I roll, I ended up with freaking, that one's frozen. So I've got to use that one anyway. So now I've still got to roll a 3 to actually fully repair that. So let me take her there. But it's a dice rolling game, and it ticks you off because sometimes you'll end up. So I finished that, trying to hurry up to get to the. I'll probably won't roll an 8.
6.
Just in case. If I get a 5, then that dice disappears. 3, freaking. So now all my deployment's done. Now I'm going to take damage to the actual to the ship. As it continues on in the story, each week it tells you a little bit more. You're getting stressed out about the trip. Then you have to make decisions. So do I get more dice so I can possibly fix more stuff or harvest more things and take damage to the hull, or do I get an assist where it blocks out? I won't get injured, or let me take the hull because I don't want to lose that much. But you have to harvest food. If you don't harvest enough food, then, for example, I want to give this to her because she has the most rolls. Now she has 4 dice. Everybody else usually has 1 or 2, but now there's no more food. The next week, because I have that dead person sitting in my ship already, I have no food. I can choose to eat that dead person. So now you go into cannibalism, and the cannibalism stresses out your other people. And yeah, it just gets wild because I've made it to maybe about week 5 and died every time without fail because my dice end up like I've got new damage that's coming in. If I don't get this, if I take her here, she's going to take a damage in health, which I need to do anyway. That's okay. But now that puts that one in stasis. If there's a 1, I'm supposed to get a repair of 25. I roll freaking 11. It just gets frustrating because, like I said, you end up 13. Freaking 13. Let me try it again. 11. Great. So now I've got to roll 14. So then my system doesn't fail. If my system fails, then the whole ship begins to break down and blow up. So it's, like I said, it's a fun game because this, you're rolling dice the whole time, trying to figure out what's going on. So now I can take injury if I get a 3.
Cannibalism and death do not sound fun to me.
But that's what happens in this, is that you got to choose. When people start dying, you got to figure out, okay, am I going to become a cannibal and eat that one person who's dead, who's already dead, they can't do anything, or pretty cool.
So it's the space.
Can we keep saying I am fish next week?
Yeah, we'll play I Am Fish. But I had to show Chris because we were talking about horror in space, and this is actually like a horror movie in space.
Yes.
Except I don't want to have to hope that I roll the right dice to do things.
Oh, freaking frustrating.
That's a lot of luck, Chris. Good luck, literally. And the whole
It
thing
already
has reminded me too much of Soylent Green, where they were actually drinking people.
And this took me into the movie Life, the alien movie Life, and I was already off because you said I had to go to Mars and I refused. So I'm definitely turning around, 100%. And if this is a movie and there's two black people, one of them isn't gonna make it for sure. So
one, Morgan, don't you mean both?
yes, I was trying to be generous, but but one of them is definitely gonna die. So you can choose which one.
And one's gonna die at the beginning.
So, for example, look at this.
Well,
I've
Kayla's
now got to
doomed.
fix these areas, or the ship breaks apart anyway. So if I mean, she's only got one dice.
You better hope
And-
Calvin's not on there.
So
'Cause
she's
then
gonna
nobody's
die.
gonna make it. I told you that.
Her right here. She got to take a hit on health. Oh, look at there, another 6. Need 3 there.
Yeah, get 3 sixes in a row.
Oh, that's
That
when
was
the
wrong
event
with some
horizon
people.
happens and
Yeah,
the devil shows up.
Boom. Hit it on
Ooh.
the head.
Damn.
but still, I've got to fix this one and this one. But I can't make it to there because she's going to take 2 health. If I move her, she's going to die.
She's gonna die anyway. Don't worry about it.
Just kill them all. To where you're the last person, and then you got all the food for yourself.
Chris just had no mercy.
And look at there. Like I said, I'm only at week 8 and I'm already dead.
Well,
Because no matter what I do here, for example, the ship is going to blow up.
yeah, which is why you should turn around in the first place.
See, now people dying because of injury on health. Now the ship is blown up. And that's it.
Well, I knew Kayla was gonna die.
Now they're ghosts
Everything
in
is
space.
death in this game. But it's addictive because you're so determined to beat it. So yeah, Chris, you might like this. You might like it.
I would just turn around. That's what I would do.
Yeah. unless there's,
okay.
That was a
unless there's an
lovely
orgy
story.
in space.
No
Unless
game
there's
for
a
me.
what?
An
That
orgy
was
in
a
space.
lovely story.
Carrie, your face was so convincing.
You can't. Just gonna have
So
nightmares
exciting.
tonight.
We didn't say anything about kids.
Yeah, see, there are no kids on the ship.
Yeah, it's all of
No, just all of it. I am fish. That's my fave.
I am
And
fish.
liquid cat.
All right.
I'm gonna have to find you an. Oh, you can play Super Bomberman. That's a fun one.
Super Bomber?
Sounds a little scandalous.
No, Super Bomberman's fun. I mean,
It does sound scandalous though.
Yes. Very.
there are no orgies in Super Bomberman, but I mean, just run around.
You don't know that. You don't know that could be why he's bombing things. You never know.
I mean, we don't really know what's happening on that ship either.
Exactly.
Hey,
Aside from one of those black people are dying, we know that.
We
Everything
don't know
else,
that.
I don't know.
But yeah, Super Bomberman is an old classic game where they made it into just like the other battle royale games. But yeah, that's
I
all it
can't
is.
compare to Smash Brothers. That's the best battle royale game ever.
Well,
I don't know, man. Battle Royale on PlayStation was really, really good though.
well, they're making it in the
Super
Nintendo.
Bomber Online. Okay.
I saw that.
Yeah,
Smash
Go.
Bros is still like insanely good, but Battle Royale was really, really. I slept on that game, and all I needed to see was Kratos, and I was good. I don't really care about anything.
Yeah, that's right.
Kratos is my favorite character of all time.
well,
Could
they
you
put
tell me?
was it from Tekken, Kaiyuza?
Yeah. What's my guy's name? Heihachi.
Yeah, that's him. That's him.
Yeah. No, I think you meant Kazuya.
Yeah. But it's the dude, the main character. I can never remember how to.
Yeah,
order his name.
it's Heihachi with the spiked hair on the sides,
Yeah.
gray hair. Yeah, Heihachi.
Oh, it's not picking up. Oh, not canceled. No.
Well, I am gonna get going because it's way past my bedtime. But it was so
Yeah.
awesome seeing all of you.
Yeah, well, like I said, we got to do this again next week.
Yes,
Do this again next
definitely.
And no origins.
Bye. Thank you.
week.
No.
Yeah,
Hey,
no
Jacoby, you do realize that that's the only reason that Captain Kirk is going up into space. He's trying to have one of those affairs that he was having on his TV show in real life. So that's the only reason he's going up there.
Well, after the Anderson Cooper interview, that was kind of interesting. But yeah, he actually said a lot of funny things. Shatner did his thing on that interview.
Although you do know that Big Bird was supposed to have gone up in the Challenger, so it kind of worries me about any kind of celebrity going into space.
I did not know that.
I didn't know that. Big Bird was supposed to have gone up in the
Big Bird was supposed to go up in the Challenger, and luckily they did not.
Yeah,
because that would have
all those yellow feathers. All those yellow feathers flying around would not have been a good look.
No.
That would not have been a good look at all.
No.
Oh, it looks like Morgan's timing out. What happened to Morgan?
I don't know. And if you're going to take somebody up there, I don't know that I would take Big Bird. Maybe they should have taken, what was the one that was Oscar? Oscar should have gone up.
Yeah, it's in the grumpy one.
Yeah, exactly. Big Bird's too fun. You don't want to take the fun one up there. Take Oscar.
Oscar the Grouch.
Or if you're going to take the Muppets, maybe take the critics, the two critics that would always be sitting.
Waldorf and Statler.
Yeah.
They were cool. They were cool, though.
They were cool critics.
But yeah, we'll go ahead and do this next week because don't want to keep everybody up because it's 11:30 now. I just know
it is.
So yeah, next week
every week anyway.
Huh?
I thought the plan was for this to be every week. That's what I was planning on every week, or is this just a every once in a while thing?
No, every week.
That's what I thought.
That's why I said next week. Not every day though. Yeah, next week. Next Wednesday.
Next week.
So yeah. We'll do this again.
You'll be back on in about 12 hours too.
Yeah. I got in between that time. Got to take people to school.
Yeah, exactly.
That's gonna kill me. So yeah, we'll do this again next week. And Chris, it's always Chris and Jahan. It's good to see you guys. I miss seeing y'all.
Yeah, man, good to see you, man. I mean, I know I've been super busy, so it's I'm just trying to get back in the mix, man.
Never just because you're trying to run New York, now that New York's open, you're trying to run the Broadway scene over there.
Yeah, never apologize about being busy. That's a good thing. That's a real good thing.
I actually I went to a conference last week in Atlantic City because I told you I was at that tourism thing.
Yeah.
And I spoke with some of the people from North Carolina because majority of them are there. So I dropped your name. They were like, "Oh yeah, Jacoby."
Yeah. Things are crazy. Things are crazy. I didn't realize in this gaming scene I've actually started being known. There was a dude out of Cincinnati who's supposed to be coming, who's trying to move his group down this way. And through the rumor mill, somebody told me, well, yeah, he had mentioned Bull City Gaming and his whole goal was he wanted to squash Bull City Gaming. I'm like, what? I didn't realize my name was that big.
Yeah, name is so big you didn't even know it. And I actually have mentioned it in a couple of places, including Clubhouse, but I actually know that the metaverse people are looking into gaming as well. So that ought to be really interesting because that's like digital real estate, and they're trying to get into gaming in a big way.
Yeah.
But real talk, Joe, you don't. I mean, honestly, you really making moves because so today I was we were setting up and I see some guys, they had like Nintendo shirts on with us. So I was like, okay, where you guys from? They was like, oh, we from North Carolina. I'm like, oh, okay. Jacoby? He's like, yeah, man, I heard about Jacoby. I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm just kind of curious sometimes too, because I know it's funny because when I do the work, like I work the events for you. And I'm like, where you guys are at? I mean, if you know Jacoby, why are you guys not there? Why are you not supporting? I just find that weird. So, I guess maybe they're hearing from the grapevine from somewhere, newspaper or something like that. They hear about you, but, they never made the connection,
Yeah. I mean,
there
was actually some people that came to a Bulls game and were chanting out Bull City Gaming. I'm like, really?
Oh, okay.
That's crazy.
They were chanting out Bull City Gaming when they saw you, or they just like chanted it randomly? Oh, they saw you.
No, when they saw
chanting.
me. Wow. So it was interesting. It's interesting.
But Johanna does come
we're
back
trying to all be big time like Chris, though. Chris,
we all want to be big time like Chris. Chris
I am not big time yet.
He's so big time. He's the real star.
But Jahan, it comes back to something that I know Jacoby has brought up before, which is that sometimes you're not as well known in your own neighborhood as you are in other neighborhoods. So sometimes you get more respect in outside of your area than you do in your own.
Oh, and then I say this all the time. I get more work outside New York City than I do anywhere else, you know?
Exactly.
And it's a funny thing, man. Like, you know, a lot of people, I get more love outside of New York City, man, because it's ridiculous, you know, like the amount of people that I got to deal with to try to get some stuff going. And, you know, it's funny enough, there was a Red Bull event that had happened. And my friend hit me up. He was like, "Yo, man, why you not at this Red Bull event? You usually mostly at most of these these esports events." And I was like, "Yeah, politics, man. Politics is the main reason why I don't show up to some of these things. I know where I'm not welcome. You know, I'm not gonna go somewhere I'm not welcome. I don't want to go somewhere where I feel uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? Because people have issues, you know, and that's on them. You know, if they feel like, you know, I think the problem with me in general is like I'm not gonna lie. I'm a very lucky man. I keep honest, but I do work hard. And I do try to give myself credit. Sometimes I don't really give enough credit for myself. It's because of the amount of people, the things that they do. They make me feel like I'm not doing anything at all. You know, the way how they go about things, and so it's very difficult. You know, to be in your hometown, especially in New York City, you expect, you know, to be in the mecca of where all the best gamers are. I mean, that's the honest truth. Majority of them are like champions here. And you feel, you know, I feel like gaming should be flourishing here, and it's not. And it's very disturbing to me. And I go elsewhere, people are more open-minded and more willing to go do more things. And it's very scary, man. Like I have these conversations all the time. Like when I went to the conference too this past weekend, you know, there's a lot of people who are looking to do esports. You know, they want to grow a community. They want to have a grassroots. But it's like when I try to do something in New York City, is always a problem. You know, they always trying to, you know, dampen my plans and everything else that I'm trying to put together. So I've been like searching far and wide for people that I can trust and work with, you know, people who are hungry. You know, I'm trying to get new people who are really want to work and do stuff. And that's mainly what I've been doing, you know, in the past time with COVID, because things been real crazy, you know, with COVID. You know, I mean, it's been very difficult, but it also has opened the playing field. Majority of people who obviously been gatekeeping, telling people don't work with this person, you know, they had that much power, and you'd be surprised. It happens in esports and gaming, and it shouldn't be like that, but it's happening. But I'm kind of like fickled out because of COVID, and you know, it kind of gives me more breathing room to kind of go do my own thing, you know. But I move at a fast pace. It's crazy because when I just came back from Atlantic City from this conference, I was like, damn, man, Comic-Con's coming this week. I wish I could go. I didn't know how I was going to go. I seen my friend, he put 2 passes up. Like he said, he had a Thursday, Friday pass. I begged him like, yo, can I have the passes? He was trying to charge me like $200 for each pass. You know, and I was just kind of down. And it's funny because I was sitting in the shelter and my friend hit me up. He was like, dude, I got this gig for you. I was like, what? What do you mean? He said, there's a gig right now. I can't do it. And I need you to work the gig for me. So the gig started today and it's until Monday, and it's in Comic-Con. So it's crazy. Like, it's just the universe works in mysterious ways. You know, I always try to put all the positive energy into it. And this is the grand result of it. I am a true testament to the universe in itself with everything that I've done. You know, I try to be as positive as I can. I try to help people. I'm trying to grow stuff. And things are coming back tenfold. And I am truly blessed. I am honored with everything that has happened. You know, meeting you guys is a blessing. Just, you know, just people being positive. And that's all I ever want in my life right now. I go through a lot of stuff, man. Like, and I'm gonna be completely honest with you. Like, you know, just having to go through this shelter program thing. It goes. You know, a lot of people don't know what's really going on. It's kind of wild. It's really wild. A lot of stuff kind of goes unheard of. You know, things get swept under the rug. I dealt with a lot of things. You know, like, and it's mentally. I'm going through the most craziest mental war with myself because I went from conference to getting back in the mix of talking with people, doing business, and then having to come back to somebody getting stabbed. at the shelter, and like blood was all over the place. I had a panic attack, and then it's crazy. The same night, my friend hit me up, told me about the Comic-Con the next day. So as I'm going through this emotional roller coaster, man, and it's rough. It's very rough. You feel like you're really by yourself. You don't really have anyone really to talk to about it. As I'm talking about it now, like I really need to vent, and it's been very difficult for me. But gaming has really saved my life. I have to constantly say this all the time. Because of gaming, it has put me where I'm at today. It has kept me alive. It has kept me strong, and it has kept me pushing forward to get to where I want to be, in this industry, regardless with whoever don't like me, who don't want to work with me. I could care less. I'm here on a mission to do what's right for everyone. I want to bring, esports is inclusive, right? Like honestly, to God, like it's really inclusive. I get tired of hearing that, like, with all these crazy stories that's going on with esports, and I just wish we could get to a point where like we're focusing on the good of it, that is bringing a lot of somewhat good energy, but also has bad energy because money's involved. But what about trying to bring something to the table to bring to help kids get through all the crazy situations that they've been in? And for me, I am a true testament to having to deal with my past issues that I had with family and everything else, and having to get through like rough times where I grew up in. So I don't know where things are going. It's tough because again, there's so many people who are in a position that could do better, that they can really contribute to something, but it's all about just trying to hold position, and it's disturbing to me. Like we could all grow and learn something from each other. We could definitely put stuff in place, but the problem is with gaming is there's too many politics, there's too much stuff going on, and it just really bothers me a lot. I have to deal with it sometimes.
I hear you, and it's definitely very worrisome, and definitely I can hear what you're saying, and I hear the passion in your voice and everything along those lines. Hey, just tell me if I can. I just want to give a couple of quick shout outs while I'm thinking about it. One of them is to our good friend Zach, who is I know has appeared on different shows. He's actually going to be doing a concert, so he's actually getting ready to hit the road, and he's going to be in Baltimore with his funk concert. So he's bringing the Nappy Head Funk Army to the Funk and Crab Festival. Yeah, you can get a blend of funk and crab, and that'll be on October 9th in then that'll be going on. So I'll try to drop it in the comments if anybody is watching and if they're interested and everything along those lines. I also saw that Ankit was watching, and he's been catching us all the way from India. So I have to give a shout out to Ankit and all of what he's been checking out. He mentioned cricket, and we actually started recently a sports show that deals with fantasy sports, but also deals with more traditional sports as well. And I made sure that we mentioned cricket and some of the cricket players in there. So Ankit will be glad to know that we do try to incorporate cricket as well. And by the way, that festival that I was talking about is at the Drury Ball Park and everything. That's the one that Zach is performing at, and it's up between October 9th, which is this Saturday, between 1 and 10 p.m., and that is located in Latham, Maryland. So Latham, Maryland, if anybody happens to be in that area. And by the way, Chris, I was catching, and some other people were catching that poster behind you, and I also want a role in one of your next films. Since I'm already doing voiceovers, I might as well get a role in one of your horror films. So if you got a role,
get in line, get in line. Everybody, I have people all the time. When I was in Florida, because I'm all about promoting myself all the time. I have this shirt because one of my short films, Backward Creep, which we're going to turn into a feature, is like a film by Christopher G. Moore, Backward Creep. And my brother had ordered pizza, and I went to the Domino's guy, and this old guy got out. It's like, "Hey, are you a filmmaker?" He's like, "Yeah." I write scripts. Would you look at one of my scripts? So I feel like one of those people in Hollywood where they slide a script underneath the toilet, stall or something, or like a. But yeah, actually that you're talking about that thing right there. Is that they're talking about? That's actually my production company, Cinema Fuel Productions. Actually, there's a guy named Chad Hunt who's an artist. He's actually drawn for like comic books and stuff.
Yeah, I know Chad.
He actually drew it. Actually, let me get it.
Yeah, Chad is actually an amazing artist. I've had the pleasure of seeing him before. Oh wow. Yeah, I like that a lot. That is some great.
Yeah, because it's sort of like
Yep, there we go.
I wanted something that sort of embodies like all kinds of genre things, you know, whether it's like, you know, aliens, ghosts, demons, robots, sci-fi. So, because I wanted something that would be like a cool logo. So, and I knew my friend Chad Hunt, who's actually he's actually drawn stuff for my film Knob Goblins.
Oh, cool.
Which is about a demonic creature that bites your junk off. That was, a short.
Just bites that junk off. What a horrible thought.
Well, yeah. Well, that short film was when I wanted to have a horror film where guys were the victims and not women, and so I thought the most horrible thing you could think of is some demonic creature biting your junk off. So that film went on a really good film festival tour for a while there. We won a lot of awards. We screened at New York City Horror Film Festival with that. That's actually one of my favorite film festivals in New York City Horror Film Festival. Those people there are wonderful people. So,
did you apply this year for Nevermore? I am on the selection committee, so I can't make you any promises because I'm only one vote.
No, but we Backward Creep, my last film, screened there, part of their virtual film festival. But yeah, I didn't have anything to submit this year. So, but I'm hoping that once the travel horror anthology that my segment's a part of, hopefully once that's finished, we can submit it to Nevermore, because I always love being able to get films to screen there, and it'd be nice to be able to see it actually play there. You know, it's been a very long time. I've had a few films in the past that have gotten in there. My film, I think Foodie actually won an audience award there one year.
It did. I wasn't part of the selection committee at that time, but I do remember hearing about that film and hearing about some of your other work as well. And I can relate to what you said. I was actually teasing about the acting part, but as one is in the event planning space and also knowing people in the films, I do know that even I sometimes get those treatments, sometimes get those people that want investments. And I'm sitting there going like, I don't have any of that kind of money myself, but if y'all want to send me this stuff, y'all can go ahead and send it. So they do.
Yeah, I mean, I won't look at people's scripts because I don't want to steal anybody's ideas. So I will not read your script. I'll throw it in the trash. I hate saying that, but I just don't want to be. I don't want to be like sued by somebody or whatever. But I don't mind if people want to connect. If you're, you know, artists, if you're actors, people who produce. I mean, I've met so many people like on the film festival circuit that have become part of some of my films. You know, I mean, you know, the effects guy for my last two films, I knew him from another person's film festival and the film they made, and actors and stuff. One of my actresses in my film Gut Punched, I met at New York City Horror Film Festival many years ago, and we always wanted to work together. And she actually flew in from LA on her own dime to be in my film. So it's interesting how you just make, even the Worst Laid Plans, the people that are producing it, they have a film festival in Virginia called Genre Blast Film Festival. And I've had films screen there, and this is their first film, and they had a filmmaker drop out that became a producer, and they asked me to be a part of it. So those connections are always very helpful, you know, whether it's actors, anybody. So I'm willing to connect with people. But at the same time, I'm trying to make my own shit. I'm working hard I had to spend a lot of my own dime on a lot of my stuff. And so, you know, at some point I want to have a production company that's big enough that I can help not only make my stuff, make other people's stuff, because what I'd like to do is sort of be a helpful hand to other people who might not get opportunities, whether that's female filmmakers or, you know, non-white guy filmmakers like myself. I want to make sure I can sort of be able to open doors for other people that might not have opportunities and tell different stories. That's my goal. But at the first time, I got to get my foot in the door myself, you know, like everybody else.
Yeah, that's very true. Got to get that foot in the door. We're waiting for the horror video game that Jacoby's going to create as he gets ready to do all this stuff with Bull City Gaming. Like Jahan said, has got him known all over the world and everything. So we need that horror video game, Jacoby.
You know, right now I'm just trying to live life.
I know that's right. Well, speaking of living life, I think we got to be on in about 12 hours. So I just kind of had a couple of quick questions, but I'm gonna think that it's time to end because I'm getting sleepy.
Yeah. Now, there it is. Yeah, because my computer started acting up for a second there. I don't know what was going on. That was interesting. But yeah, we'll go ahead and close the show and do this again next Thursday. Hopefully not as long because, it's 12 o'clock at night and I know we all got to get up in the morning.
Yep.
But yeah, let's do it again.
Early. Gotta get up real early.
Yeah. Making that money though.
Oh, so they're paying good. I mean, they paying. I'm like, damn, man. I wish I could get more gigs like that. They pay real good, man. They pay real good.
That's why I'm gonna be like you guys when I grow up. That's my goal.
All right, Toby.
But yeah, we'll go ahead and close the show out. We'll see you guys next week.
Sounds like a plan.
All right,
man. Thank you for having me.
Hey, anytime.
Being able to represent yourself as who you are helps others to speak for themselves.
I'll say, as I know right now, the Star Trek and Marvel universe are connected, but there is the multiverse, so you never know.
Who's her? You know her. Don't pretend you don't.
I know her. I've known her my whole life, literally. So,
are you going to toss it off to me again?
I mean, no. I'm tossing it to Janora. Janora is going to have to introduce herself.
Ladies' Day.
Yes.
Wait.
I don't think there's a video game that simulates what it's like to have a family.
Definitely simulation game.
Are you kidding? I get left burned on fire. My mom leaves the stove on. That ain't a family. My house burns down half the time.